It's a header in, a Mullen. Oh, and Jerry Mullen has scored. Crossing near post, and Jefferson has scored. Jefferson's onside because of this injury. A good tackle, but the ball is in the net. And Alan Patterson electing to punch, but only as far as Murray. Chips back, looking for McGahey. He must, and he has. Jerry Mullen by the near post for Glentoran. It is Mullen, and despite McEwen's efforts to stop it, it is Jerry Mullen. McEwen, and George Gibson has equalised for Linfield. Mullen could pick up on this. Dornan's back there, and it's an own goal by Paul Mooney.
They're all in there, all the way across. Tim McCann is off the ball. Halliday! And the man who missed a couple of chances could be the hero.
Well, joining me live at Windsor Park this afternoon, I've got a former Linfield player, a former Glentoran player, and a man who managed both clubs. Good afternoon to Billy Hamilton, Michael O'Neill and Roy Coyle. Before we chat to you, let's have a look at some of this old archive just to prove your pedigree. Roy, that was a few years ago.
Was it that long ago? I can't even remember.
Some great memories though in the opening tape there.
Some great players there, some household names of the past. And
now who's this?
That's
looks like a certain B. Hamilton.
Look at that turn. Turned on a sixpence. That defender must be slow.
And Michael, we're going to see a couple of your old goals for Glentoran. Good to be back watching your old club today.
Oh, of course, hopefully see them do well today. That was a rare header from myself, but I had a great 2 years at the Glen, so a lot of good memories.
Roy, I think you've been involved in more Big Two games than anybody else. What's going to make today so special?
Well, obviously all the hard work's done during the week on the Tuesday and the Thursday night in the build-up. It's all about just keeping the lads relaxed at the moment. The first 20 minutes, as everybody knows, it's the quickest part of the game. It's the most demanding part of the game. Whoever settles in the quickest in that first 20 minutes, to me, will go on and win the game.
Michael, Glentoran's 5th final in 7 years. It's a good record for them.
It's a phenomenal record, always known as a great cup team. I think they've had the upper hand over Linfield as well in finals. So, I mean, they're coming into the final with a bit of momentum. Linfield's last few games, maybe they haven't had a lot to play for. So I think Glentoran will be quietly confident about today.
And Billy, we're just having a look around the ground. There's colour, it's a carnival atmosphere. What a great day it should be for Irish League football today.
There's nothing like a day like this when the big two meet in the cup final. The atmosphere is electric. The fans are in full voice and there's still half an hour to go. It's a very colourful day and I hope it goes off well and I hope everybody enjoys themselves.
Roy, with the bookmakers, Linfield 8-11 to win, the Glens 3-1. Is that fair, do you think?
No, the bookmakers can just speculate and obviously gamble. But when these two meet, there's no such thing as a favourite when the two of them play, because irrespective of what the form is prior to these games, these are one-off games. Forget about what happened in the past. It's all about who is going to settle the quickest and who gets a wee bit of luck.
Well, the teams are on the pitch warming up at the moment. They arrived, I suppose, about an hour ago. The Glentoran team, the first to come to Windsor this afternoon. They may not have beaten Linfield in 6 meetings this season, including losing 2 finals, but they're the modern-day cup specialists. They've got Chris Morgan on their side. He scored twice to help Linfield win the 2002 Irish Cup. Will he be in the Glentoran side today? Here's the manager, Paul Miller.
Paul, when you took over the job but a few months ago, you said you had your eyes on a cup final. You're here. Is all well?
Yep, everything's well. We're just delighted to be here. We had a good night last night. The boys are chomping at the bit and we just can't wait to get out on the pitch.
Almost 20 years to the day since you scored the winner in a cup final. Good omen?
Yeah, good omen. I mean, things have been looking good for us. We've been playing really well, and to say we're 20-year anniversary. Big Glen Little's here. It's his 10th anniversary, and we just honestly, we just can't wait to get out. We're chomping at the bit here.
And there are those, of course, who would say that you're a lucky manager, already beaten in the cup this year as manager of Newry. You're back in a final. You'll want this one badly.
Desperately, we want it desperately. It's great to come to Windsor and put one over on them. And honestly, we are really, really looking forward to this today.
All well in the camp?
Everything is happy in the camp, no injury worries, and everybody's up and round to go.
Well, there's the Glentoran lineup this afternoon, Roy. No Chris Morgan. Are you surprised?
Slightly, yes, but obviously, Paul Miller has done his homework well. He's assessed the side. He believes that that's the 11 that's going to win the Irish Cup. But he's also got Chris Morgan on the bench. If things don't work out up front, to bring him on and hopefully score the goal he's looking for.
And Michael Halliday, who he's opted to play up front, of course, a cup final specialist, scored a couple of winners.
That's right, Michael's always good for a goal, big occasions, he's proven that in the past, and I think Paul's maybe going for Michael, hoping that he'll give a little bit more physical presence up there today against William Murphy, who tends to dominate things in that area.
And we hear that Darren Lockhart may play on the right side of midfield as opposed to in the centre of midfield. What's the thinking behind that, Billy?
Oh, he's a good player wherever he plays. He's a knack at getting goals as well. It'll be a tactical decision by Paul Miller to play him there for whatever reason, but he's one to watch as well because he's a knack at getting important goals, as is Mark Glendenning. Mark Glendenning will be laying out his left back, but watch him from set pieces. Very, very dangerous and a great goal scoring record in big games.
Lockhart could be key for Glentoran today, Roy.
Yes, but I think he's playing in a position that he doesn't really want to play in. Darren Lockhart he's got a great aptitude of being able to run from midfield and get beyond front men and score important goals. And I think that maybe could be a little bit of a loss. But it's also a massive game for young Barry. If he's not, he's got to be one of the youngest boys ever to play in an Irish Cup final.
Well, the Glentoran manager, Roy, today, 20 years ago, scored a late winner to win it. It's hard to believe that Paul Miller was involved in a final so long ago, isn't it?
Yeah,
here it is.
I've seen this. I'm not so sure if this is a cross or not, but he'll take it anyway. You'd have us believe it was a shot and he picked out the top corner, but I think it was a cross in that.
Well, Paul Miller had a Midas touch of the player. Will he have it as a manager this afternoon? Now, the Linfield team, well, what a season they've had. They arrived at Windsor Park. David Jeffrey, the manager, first off the bus, passionate as always. They've won the league championship this year. They're the favourites today, and the manager wants a league and cup double for him for the very first time.
Just watching you get off the bus there, no shortage of passion about.
Oh, absolutely not, Mark. This is a fantastic day. We've been preparing for it for maybe the last sort of 3 weeks at least. Once we got the league out of the road, once we got our through to the final, we were just thinking about this day. Everything has been geared towards it. The players are in great form. The whole squad is in fantastic fettle, and we're really looking forward to the game.
All you need to do now is win, and you'll not need reminding. You haven't beaten the old enemy in a cup final since 1945.
No, it's been a long, long time, and as I say, that hoodoo has been over us for quite some time. But this is a day to make history, and I've told the players that they can forget about clean sweeps. They can forget about all of the other stuff that's been written. We're concentrating on one thing, Mark, and that's 90 minutes of football. And if we play to your potential, then we'll do all right.
Scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you?
12.
Good luck, David.
Cheers.
Well, there's the Linfield lineup, Billy, and David Jeffrey supremely confident of his players today.
Yeah, Stephen, there's no real surprises there. That team almost picks itself. It's tried and tested and proven over the season. They know each other so well. It's like a well-oiled machine. They know what to expect, and you've got those two up front, Ferguson and Thompson, over 80 goals this season between them. That could be the key to winning this game today.
Roy, there's been so much talk that Glentoran are the form team, but David Jeffrey says that's ridiculous. We're the form team this season. What do you think?
Well, they're only talking about the last sort of 4 to 5 weeks probably, but whenever Linfield had won the league and they'd made a lot of changes, they were all forced changes. It wasn't a situation where he was called upon where he had to do it. But in saying that, they are the form team, Linfield, because they've won the league in a canter. You got to give respect for that. But one thing they can't be today, I think, is that they can show too much overconfidence, and that could backfire on them if they do.
Linfield have been resting players over the last few weeks. They've only won 4 games out of 10 in the last 10 games. Do you think that'll go against them today, Michael, or not?
Well, it can do, but I think that Big Davy won't allow it to go against them. I think, you know, in the dressing room, and he's got a team of winners in there. They've won, you know, the three domestic competitions this season. Glenn Ferguson, Peter Thompson. I think Linfield will still come out fired up for this, and I think that they've got the best centre-back pairing in the league, and they've got the best pair of strikers in the league, and that's where really Glentoran are going to have to be at their best today.
Well, I've got some golden oldies up here with me. Michael, not so old as the other two. And Mark Sidebottom's pitch side, and he's got a couple of special guests as well. Mark, down to you.
Thank you, Stephen. I can almost reach out and touch Colin Nixon just here. Two men I definitely can't touch. Stephen referred to them as golden oldies. Lindsay McCone and Jimmy Cleary, between you, 7 Irish Cup medals. Lindsay, I'll come to you first. What do you make of it all?
Well, I was just saying before, it's the only day that you wish you were still playing. It's a big occasion, fantastic atmosphere. And we're saying to Jimmy before, the pitch is absolutely immaculate. We have played in some dodgy pitches in cup finals, but there's no excuses today.
Jimmy, you'd agree with that. It's the one occasion that still gives you the buzz as a player. The playing days are gone. There are a few outsiders who are tipping Glentoran. I take it you're one of them.
Well, I'd like to see them winning, obviously. You know, Linfield have had a fantastic season. I think the difficulty for them is that I think they may have lost a wee bit of momentum just in terms of winning the league that early, and they've been changing the team over the last few weeks. The Glens are coming in on the back of a few wins, gives them a bit of confidence. So, I mean, I think everything else that's gone before this season goes out the window really on a day like this. It's a one-off.
Would extra time and or a replay surprise you?
Not at all, no. Myself and Lindsay have been through that a couple of times when we've played before in cup finals. They both ended up in replays.
Lindsay, you've had a quick look over the Linfield squad. I think you were expressing a little surprise that Mark Picking hasn't even made the bench. What do you make of the pick David Jeffries made?
Well, if Glentoran are going to get anything out of the game, I think they've got to stop the two wide men. The wide men are very important for Linfield, Kearney and Mounsey, and if they don't perform, Linfield don't perform, and really the service to the front men, it has to be good, because you know what Ferguson, obviously, and Thompson can do if they get good service. So Glentoran's point of view, they've got to stop the wide men, stop the service, and they could be on a good chance.
The man in the middle today, Michael Ross of Carrickfergus. How important could the referee be?
Well, Michael's a super performer on the big occasion. He has the calmness, and he talks to the players while the game's going on, and I think he's the right man for the job.
Jimmy, final word to you. Call it for me.
Well, I hope the Glens win. I think they'll win 2-1, but I just hope, first of all, that it's a good game. I think we've been taking a wee bit of knocks the last while in terms of Irish League football. I think the boys have a chance today to put on a bit of a spectacle.
You tell me Paul Miller's a lucky manager.
I hope he is, yes.
Thanks very much to both of you guys. I know, Jimmy, you're out there on the parade at the moment. Stephen, from these two old-timers, back up to you and your bunch.
Well, thanks very much. Glentoran and Linfield have met 6 times this season. Glentoran yet to register a win against the Blues this year. How important is that going to be today, get into this game, psychologically?
Psychologically, I think it's very important. Glentoran haven't managed to beat Linfield all season, so the Blues have got a formula that the Glens just can't break, and I don't think it'll be any different today.
Roy, the Glens and the Blues did draw 0 each in the league, but there was that 6-0 defeat in the Setanta Cup, and surely today that'll be in the back of the Glentoran minds.
I think what will be in the back of Glentoran's head is that they haven't beaten them at all this season, never mind the last 2 games. And obviously that's got to have a psychological effect on them. But again, I know I'm repeating myself, but it's going to come down to that first 15 minutes, 20 minutes. If Glentoran can settle in and not allow Linfield to get a goal, because that's what's happened in the games. They've always scored early on, and it certainly has had an effect on. If they can hold out, you never know in this game of football.
A lot of old golden oldies here today. I'm sure you recognise a couple of those guys on the pitch, right?
Yeah, I think I played with both those guys. One at Glentoran, Billy McCaig, and one with Peter Rafferty at Linfield. So I have fond memories of both of them.
Michael, it's a day about colour and it's a day about memories as well.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you see these great old players who have written themselves into folklore at both clubs, and it's an opportunity for some players today. You know, Colin Nixon captains the Glentoran team today. I think he has 5 winners' medals already, you know, and there's huge responsibility I feel on him today, playing at centre back, having to deal with Glenn Ferguson, and I think Colin Nixon will really he'll be crucial to how Glentoran settle into the game.
We'll talk a bit more about Glenn Ferguson a little later, but it is a big day for the fans, and we sent Thomas Kane out this morning to sample the big match atmosphere.
Now, we've all heard the phrase that football is a game of 2 halves. Well, this is a supporters club of 2 halves. On my left, Linfield. Yeah! On my right, Glentoran. Yeah! Let's go to Linfield first. What's it been like in the bar before the game?
Brilliant. You've been here yourselves, and fantastic atmosphere. You wouldn't get it anywhere else.
It's really a unique situation. Glens fans, Blues fans side by side.
Well, it always has been a unique situation in the Raven Club. Both sets of fans get on really, really well together. They're a great bunch of lads, the Glen supporters, but unfortunately I think just on the day we'll be too strong and we'll beat them 2-0 today. Okay?
How confident are you that
Very,
clean
very
sweep?
confident. We're a better team. We've been strong all season, we've stuffed them all season. It'll be tight of the day, but we will win 2-1.
Let's ask the Espers for a prediction. What's the score going to be?
2-1. 3-0. 4-2. 3-1. 6-0!
They're very, very confident. But it's not just the bar that's divided. Families are divided as well. You've got a brother who's flown the whole way over from Canada.
The whole way from Toronto this morning. Just arrived this morning. He's been in Glenmont most of his life, unfortunately. But he is my brother. So we'll just let it go today. He won't have a good as day as I will have, but we'll have a drink later and forget about things.
Let's go over and see him now. You've flown the whole way over from Toronto?
I did indeed. I had to come over here and just keep your brother honest and give the lads here a bit of a support. And unfortunately, they have been the best team all year, but not today. 2-1 for the Cock and Hens.
Anything you want to say to him now?
Well, Davey, big brother, love you dearly, but you're a loser.
What's it been like listening to the Blues fans all year bragging about their trophies?
Yeah, they've had plenty to shoot for this year, but today is Irish Cup final day, and as everybody in this club knows, Irish Cup final day is Glentoran day. We'll be bringing the cup back home to the East tonight.
Are you confident you can create an upset?
Yes, I'm very confident. In fact, I would say it's 1-0. It's going to be the same score as it was in 1985, 21 years today, when Paul O.G. Mooney scored the best goal ever seen in an Irish Cup final. And this is my dedication to Paul O.G. Mooney. Thank you, Paul.
There's a message for the Linfield fans. I'm sure it'll be great cracking here tonight, but I'm going to go back to the middle, and my prediction is a draw.
Well, good to see both sets of supporters in fine form and enjoying the same establishment. There's Glenn Little, the man who scored the winner for Glentoran in the Cup final 10 years ago. Glentoran trying to pull out all the stops today, bringing him over as a lucky talisman, perhaps.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was instrumental in getting Glenn Little signed for Glentoran, and he went on to be a folk hero at Burnley. He went over there and the Burnley fans took him to his heart, and in fact there's a contingent of Burnley fans over today that support Glentoran, so there's a big connection there. But Glenn Little, he's gone to Reading now and he's helped them into the Premiership. That'll be a quiz question of the future. What last Irish League players now playing the Premiership?
We'll try and dig that goal out and show it at half-time if we can and get a quick word with him. On a more serious note, Michael, we saw the fans together there, enjoying the fun and enjoying the occasion, and that's what it should be all about today.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, everyone knows the incidents that have gone on in the past, but the day, it's a glorious occasion, it's a great day. So far, the fans have turned out in full numbers, so hopefully the game matches up to the atmosphere.
What a noise, that Roy, what an atmosphere.
I can't hear you.
Fantastic for the fans, and it's good that it's a sellout today.
Yeah, absolutely. When it was coming up today, you could sense it was an important game. It's a big game, two massive clubs, and I hope and pray that it's a good game, and more importantly, I hope it goes off peacefully.
And Billy, as both managers said in a joint statement this week, we want a passionate atmosphere today, free from violence and bigotry. We want to create a fun, safe, family-orientated day. No trouble, like we have had before.
Well, it's well documented what's went on in the past, but a day like this is a family day, and you want to come here and see all the colours, see the razzmatazz, everything that's going on before the game. It's a great day out, and we want it to be trouble-free, something when you can take your family for all of them to enjoy.
Hear, hear. And now let's have a reminder how both these sides reached the Irish Cup final.
Ferguson 3-0, and you just can't give Glenn Ferguson that sort of space.
McCann will pull it inside his man. He's done well. Tees it up for Milov. He miscued it. Milov, does he get another chance? Holmes is blocked. It's not away yet. Brown trying to work the space. He did well. Oh, the keeper has let it slip through. Milov's corner. Not away yet. McDonough is blocked. Milov chips it. The back post. Back in the middle. Simpson. 2-0, the big central defender surely has put his place in his first Irish Cup final.
Well, the ticket distribution for this game ended in a bit of a shambles. Linfield fans were allowed to buy tickets for the Glentoran stand. Thankfully, the IFA sorted out that fiasco this week. They're hoping it will now be remembered as a gala occasion watched by the IFA Chief Executive Howard Wells. He's pitch side with Mark.
Thank you, Stephen. The stand just behind me was where those 130 Linfield fans were allocated tickets. Howard Wells, IFA Chief Executive, are you now absolutely confident that all of the difficulties potential have been sorted out?
I think we've done everything we possibly could to make this a safe environment, and the intelligence I've got to date suggests that we've been pretty well spot on with it. I mean, it's been a difficult issue right up to the time of kick-off because this whole business of counterfeit tickets was an unknown quantity. We had no intelligence, police had no intelligence or any evidence of it. At the moment it would appear that we're on top of things anyway.
Why did you have no intelligence?
Just couldn't. No one was aware of no one had actually seen any counterfeit tickets. Police hadn't, which is most unusual. For occasions like this where those sort of things are in the market, the police would normally pick them up fairly quickly.
I suppose it's the last thing you just about needed, given that you've had a fortnight, something similar to that of Tony Blair. Do you now feel that you and the IFA are eventually back or getting back on top of things?
Well, I think we're getting on top of things, and we've obviously got a long way to go in the way the game is managed domestically, and I think I've been hugely impressed with the amount of cooperation we've had this week from everybody. Clubs, Sports Council, police, health and safety have been excellent. If we all pull together like that, there's not much we can't do.
As things stand, this is a gala occasion, the biggest of the year for local football. How confident are you that the 10,000-12,000 in here today will come to watch a football match and that the game will be remembered for the right reasons?
Well, I hope it will be, yes. And everyone is signed up to that, the managers, the players, and I think it's going to be a good occasion, and I hope that if we're really going to promote the game, we're on show here with sponsors, with television, and we've got to get much more for corporate support into the game. So this is a big showpiece, a real tester for everyone involved.
You're still coming out fighting, or are you feeling a little beleaguered by it all?
What the job's about, managing problems, isn't it?
Call this one for me today. We've got to ask you about the match after all.
Sorry?
Call the match for me today, Glentoran or Linfield.
I think it could go either way, and I know that's a bit of a negative statement, but a month or 2 months ago I thought it would have been a Linfield call, but Glentoran have had a good late run, and so this could just go 1-0 the other way, who knows?
There you go, Stephen. The IFA Chief Executive reckons it's 1-0 for the Glens.
Well, not long to go until kick-off. Billy Hamilton, Michael O'Neill and Roy Coyle are still with me. Billy, Cup final day is a big day, and it's all about the big players and how they perform.
It is about the big players and how they perform. It amazes me as a manager. You watch your players in the build-up for the final, and they're going to do this and do that in the dressing room, and then when they go out, they tend to freeze. It's the big players that rise above that and play their normal game and play well that win you these matches.
Up front for Linfield, Roy, Glenn Ferguson and Peter Thompson have been absolutely on fire this season.
Yeah, they've had a fantastic season, especially young lad Thompson. He came into the season with a fair reputation, but he's now got a great reputation at domestic football.
Do you think this might be his last game for Linfield today, perhaps?
I'm not so sure. I think he's still a lot of work to do. Obviously, a lot of big clubs have been watching him across the channel, but Linfield have signed him professional, so I think that he's going to be here for a little while longer.
Now let's talk a bit about Glenn Ferguson. 42 goals this season, 36 years of age, and he has done Glentoran some damage in the finals this season, as we can see in the CIS.
Yeah, in the CIS, Glenn was phenomenal. I don't think it's a better striker, well, maybe in Irish League history, certainly in modern day football, who attacks the ball as well in the box. And that day, Glentoran just couldn't handle him. He pulled the young boy Simpson all over the park. And between him and Thompson, they just basically destroyed Glentoran that day. But Glenn will be up for it today, and I'm sure he'll be looking out at his goal tally.
Yeah, how would you sum up Glenn Ferguson's contribution to the game, Billy?
Well, he's a credit to the game, and he's a credit to himself. He's a model professional. To keep going at that age, I think he's about 34, 35. Still has a hunger for goals. If any young lad is looking at somebody to model himself on, it's Glenn Ferguson.
And he's already been named the Ulster Footballer of the Year, Roy.
Well, if you think of all the players that have won that, and he's won it 3 times, but he's made a little bit of history, I think that sums up Glenn Ferguson in a nutshell. He's one of the best strikers that this island has ever seen.
Yeah, and also he's a great header of the ball as well.
Yeah, he's not a 6-footer, but he's got a tremendous leap. People ignore him to a degree and to their peril, and that's one of the reasons why he scores an awful lot of goals, because they let him go in that box, and once you let him go in that box, he's a danger.
Well, I'll be asking you for your predictions very shortly, but first of all, we've been canvassing the opinions of some of the Irish League managers.
I suppose the smart money is on Linfield, but you just never know. Glentoran have got a wee revival there under Paul, and it'll be a local derby. It can go anyway, but probably if you ask me, Linfield.
Well, I think it's a hard game to call. I wouldn't read too much into Linfield's performances and results this last few weeks, because normally what happens is when a team has won the league as early as they have, then they naturally switch off. I think from Linfield's perspective is they're going for the modern clean sweep, and they can emulate the 7 trophy winning side of bygone eras.
I feel the nicest thing that has happened in football this season, which hasn't got a mention, is the fact that Glentoran at the start of the season donated their home kit to Coleraine. Now, for that, that I hold them in high commendation for that, and I would really like Glentoran to win for that, because not every club would do that.
It's always difficult to try and predict a Big 2 game, and we've always said in the past, the next game, all the other games and the next game mean nothing because it's another game. But of late, and certainly over this season, Linfield have certainly had the upper hand. But lately, Glentoran have settled, their confidence increased, and it is in fact anybody's game at this particular time. But Linfield are going for the 4, and that's a big incentive for them.
It's a massive game for Glentoran in terms of trying to break the dominance of Linfield. Linfield, I think, have been resting players now, so they should be really sharpened up. I think I've been reading in the press that Paul Miller may have Tolan back. Whether he's match fit or not is another thing. It'll be a big question to ask, so it will. I still think Glentoran have had a bit of form at this moment in time. Linfield are still unbeaten, apart from the time we beat them. And I don't think it'll change.
Well, the teams are on their way. Billy, Hamilton, who do you fancy today and why?
I fancy Linfield because they've been consistent all year. It's a tried and tested team, and I think stick my neck out and say 3-1 to Linfield.
What about you, Michael?
I've got to go with my heart today. I think that Glentoran, if they could settle into the game, I think it's imperative to score first, but I'm going to go for a 2-1 Glentoran win.
And what about you finally, Roy? Prediction?
This is twice you've asked me. I think you're trying to get me barred from East Belfast. I don't think that Glentoran will be able to keep Linfield from scoring, so I think it's going to be a Linfield win.
OK, thank you very much, gentlemen. A reminder, the game is not just being broadcast in Northern Ireland today, but right across the UK on the digital platform. Plenty of special features for you. If you press your red button, you can get the Radio Ulster commentary, the fans commentary, or the stadium atmosphere. But here on BBC One, live, it's time for us to join our commentary team of the Coleraine manager Marty Quinn, and as always, Jackie Fullerton. Good afternoon to you both, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Stephen. Thank you very much indeed. What a day. What colour. Hard to believe the last time the Blues beat the Glens in an Irish Cup final, Hitler was still alive. Rod Stewart was just 3 months old. 14th of April 1945, 4-2 at Celtic Park, and here we are. And Marty, I'm just looking at the teams. 5 Glentoran players, 6 Linfield players are playing in their first final, which is quite remarkable.
Yes, it certainly is, Jackie. The turnover of players surprises me very much. You have a debutant today in young Ryan Berry, 17-year-old. What a massive game for him. Obviously, Paul has a lot of confidence in him. And the Linfield team, they've stuck to their tried and trusted. The players who basically won the championship for them. There's a few disappointed lads. I've seen them in the car park earlier on, but Big David has done what he thinks is right on the day, and he's gone with his tried and trusted. And Glentoran have it all to do, obviously, but it should be a very interesting game.
It certainly should, and you were seeing a lot of smoke there. It's one of the biggest fireworks I've seen in recent years. And there we have the balloons, the colours of both teams, as the teams are being presented to the dignitaries. Big day for the two mascots today. We should give them a mention. Young Christopher Hamilton from Newtownabbey is the Linfield mascot, and from Dundonald on the Glentoran side it's Ms. Rebecca Reynolds. And just thinking, Marty, looking back and looking to the present, 6th of May, Tony Blair, the Prime Minister, is 53 today, and he's the man who said in recent times, "I feel the hand of history upon me." Linfield might be feeling like that today as they go for that clean sweep.
Yes, certainly, Jackie. But I go back a couple of years ago when Glentoran were feeling the same prior to playing Coleraine in a final, and I honestly felt on the day the only winners on that day were going to be Coleraine, and that's the way it worked out. And I have a gut feeling today that Glentoran can win it. Firstly, Paul Miller, the manager, is a very lucky lad. He scored a fluke of a goal to win the final in 1986.
Oh, that was against Coleraine. Oh, yeah,
it certainly was. He says today that he meant it, but there's absolutely no way. He beat Jim Platt. Secondly, Paul's already been knocked out of the cup this season again by Coleraine. He's standing down
Thought
there.
You might mention that.
Yes, he's standing down there, and why shouldn't he be reaping rewards? He's brought Glentoran to the final now. But it's going to be a very, very tight game, and I honestly feel, I'm going to quote my ex-skipper, Packy McAllister, whom I was speaking to last night, and he said he feels if Glentoran can go ahead, they'll win the game, and I would have to go along with that one. It's going to be a very tight one, but if Linfield take the lead, I think it'll be curtains.
Just pause for the anthem. Tremendous atmosphere building up. Well, we were looking in the crowd because Stuart King, now at Ballymena United, he's a former Linfield player. He's somewhere in there with a Superman outfit. There's Stuart in the background. We can see him, complete with cape and everything. He's obviously still a blue man. Here's the handshakes, and always a few nerves at a time like this. And I'm just thinking, looking at Glentoran there, Marty, it's amazing. 3 managers have brought them through this cup run. Roy Coyle got them past ours before he left the club. Tom Kincaid saw them past Ballyclare. And then Paul Miller picked it up, beating Portadown in the quarter-final and Larne in the semi-final. Not often you get that situation.
No, it certainly isn't, Jackie. But, you know, let's give Paul a lot of credit. He came in when they were down and he lifted the morale in the camp, and certainly there's a lot of enthusiasm within the team. There's a buzz there, and he certainly lifted and turned things around. So we'll give him credit. Whilst he was knocked out earlier on, he's out there today, and it's his team out there today, and he'll be, I would say, he'll have them well fired up. A very, very high motivated player himself. As a player, certainly would have put it up to you. Big Davy's the same, and it'll be a hell of a battle.
Pat McShane there in your picture, playing a second final. Let's have a recap on the Glentoran side. There we are, and Halliday and Brown starting up front. No Christopher Morgan.
Yeah, that doesn't actually surprise me. Young Brown has been doing very well. Michael Halliday, we all know Michael's past history of having scored a winner against Linfield in the past, and he's a big game player, so I would have to go along. What delights me very much is to see Jody Tolan on the bench after a cruciate ligament problem.
And playing their first finals there very quickly, Philip Simpson, Ryan Berry, Willow McDonough, Sean Ward and Gary Brown. Can we move on to the Linfield side? There we are, 6 men there playing in their first final. It's James Irvin, Jim Irvin, Michael Galt, Paul McAreevy, Peter Thompson, Tim Mounsey and Orin Kearney. Ferguson and Bailey both playing in their 6th final, and they'll be 2 very important men.
Well, we cast our mind back to the CIS Cup final, Jackie, which we worked on the day, and it was all about Glenn Ferguson. We scored early in the game, and that basically deflated and killed Glentoran off, and they're going to have to be very, very tight in the centre defensive area to stop him.
Well, Noel Bailey there, playing his 853rd game today, and Colin Nixon, he's 27, 7th final for Colin Nixon. He's won 5 of the previous 6. He's captain for the 2nd time in a final. Way back in 2000, he skippered them when they beat Portadown 1-0. Referee today, Michael Ross from Carrickfergus. 2nd cup final, would you believe? He was here in 2002 when Linfield beat Portadown 2-1. And we also have one of the referee's assistants today for the first time ever in an Irish Cup final. It's Andy Regan from Port Stewart. I think Andy is in front of the Glentoran supporters away on the far side. There she is, big day for her. I was talking to her earlier and I said, nervous? She said, no, I'm just excited. Looking resplendent, our officials today, and yellow tops. So it's moved a couple of minutes after 3 o'clock. The formalities are over. The talking is over. It's now down, as they say, the oldest cliche, what happens on the day. And it's very hard to predict. Oh, shades of the mid-80s when we had a cockerel on the Big 2 final, 1985 at the Oval. Glentoran won that day. Well, it was there were a couple of replays, 83 and 85, but Glentoran won both. So away we go. Glentoran, you will notice, are wearing squad numbers today. That was Mounsey, didn't get it away. Berry in very quickly. Free kick is given to Glentoran. Paul Miller, 19th game in charge, and it's a cup final. Inside the first minute, Alan Manus makes himself ready. Gavin Melock, does he go for the shot? I think he may have done. Sean Ward, under 21 international, goes for the line. Was it out of play? Referee has given a corner. Mounsey it was doing the covering. So early pressure from the man in green. Goalmouth camera, not too busy in there at the moment, but plenty of movement inside the box as that ball comes over. Good save by Manus. It may have been Nixon who got his head to it.
Yes, I have a feeling made it. Yes, I think it was Mark Glendenning. It's going to have to be very, very tight in there. Linfield will be always aware of the presence of Glendenning. Whilst he lacks inches, he certainly makes up for it with his motivational, and he gets up and he heads the ball very well.
Galt, good 1-2 with McAreevy. Thompson, in by Irvin, but too far. Kearney diving into the tackle, but Glentoran get the throw. Crowd today, it's about 12,000 or so. I think estimated 6,400 Linfield, 5,600 Glentoran. Glentoran in the grandstand opposite us, the north stand, Linfield below us. And in that stand in the background there, as Elliot Morris prepares to kick towards it. The pitch in immaculate condition for this time of year. Touch on here, Halliday just couldn't get a touch on it. Well, the man who's got 2 cup final winners in the past against Linfield and against Coleraine in recent times was almost on the end of Darren Lockhart's knockdown.
Certainly think he would be disappointed not getting a touch on that. That was a good opportunity.
Lockhart through again. Brown can't control it.
There seems to be a strong wind blowing in Glentoran's favour at the minute, Jackie. That'd be advised to try and get the ball down and play at the feet. And keep it under control.
Yeah, I think you're right, Marty. It's with Glentoran in this first half. Glendinning. Down he goes, clattered into by Michael Galt. One of the unsung heroes, young Galt. Murphy. Well, played a 1-2 with the referee there. Thompson, Ferguson, through ball. There's pace here. Thompson, he's got plenty of it. Can he finish? Well, he didn't hit it. It seemed to bobble. Anxious moments for Glentoran and for the Linfield boss. He thought that could have been in. Perhaps, Marty, it should have been.
Yes, that was a big opportunity for Peter. He had everything in front of him. It was all there for him. Probably on the wrong side for him. Had to pull the trigger with his left peg, and feel if it had been on the right, could have been 1-0.
McAreevy takes it short to Kearney. McAreevy. Mounsey. Kearney, good link-up play. The low cross in. Keeper comes. Easy take in the end for Elliot Morris. Halliday. They'll get the free kick here. Sean Ward it was who went down. Well, here's this moment when Thompson got through. Heart in the mouth time for Glentoran. It did bobble. Elliot Morris did well in the end. We're down at the other end. And, well, backward header from William Murphy.
I'm not quite sure whether he meant that or not, Jackie, but it worked out a good pass back.
Maybe he thought he was at the other end.
Perhaps.
And Manus had to scramble right at the post. Lockhart against Ferguson. Here's Brown. Bailey. 6 of one, half a dozen of another. Brown emerges. That's good covering back. Lockhart robbed. Berry in. Ryan Berry wearing number 17 to match his age. He'll be 18 in September, as Roy Coyle said. I can't think of anyone younger at this point in time who played in an Irish Cup final. What a big day for that boy.
It certainly is, Jackie. I'm just looking down at the chap. He's not the tallest, he's not the biggest of lads, but he must be a wild little fella. He obviously has worked hard to earn his place in the team, and it's going to be a big battle in the midfield between Lockhart and himself, along with Galt and McAreevy. It's going to be very, very competitive and very tight, and the tackles will fly in.
Galt's header. Milo. Bailey might beat them all. Does. Miss Regan has her flag up on the far side. Peter Thompson, 46 goals this season, 6 goals in the Cup. He hasn't scored in every round, Ferguson has. Ferguson's got 4 in the Cup run. Top scorer for Glentoran in this Cup run is on the bench, Chris Morgan. His 2 goals against Portadown, one of them a real cracker in the quarter-final at the Oval.
Absolutely outstanding, the two Linfield strikers, Jackie. 80-odd goals between them, and that's why they're the champion. That's why they've won the other trophies which are available. And as you say, can they do the clean sweep today? Let's wait and see.
Yes. But as you said, Glentoran were, that was Lockhart. Why not try your luck from about 25 yards? Darren Lockhart hasn't scored in this Cup run so far this season. There he is, second left. Chris Morgan, the man second right. Marty mentioned him earlier, and I'm glad to see him back too. Jody Tolan. He hasn't played for 8 months. Injured in August. Cruciate ligament injury, and it's good to see him back. And who knows, he may well see some of this action. Sean Ward couldn't find Brown, who had made the run. Pat McShane. Both sides, it's 4-4-2 for both, isn't it, Marty? Here's Galt.
It is, Jackie, yeah. I'm just looking at the Glentoran bench. It's a very positive bench in respect to 3 attacking-minded players, 2 strikers, and a left-sided attacking player. So they're obviously very positive in there.
Here's Thompson. Kearney. Oh, he's done well. That's a very good ball. Oh, pushed away. Is it in? It almost was from Ferguson. Plenty of nerves there and worries for Elliot Morris and company. Almost the first goal as that ball came in. Great reaction save. And again, corner to Linfield as it comes in. It was Mounsey with the header. The corner. McAreevy. Kearney will not get there. Referee has given a corner. Well, Mark Glendinning and Glentoran having to defend at the moment. It's been a lively start.
It certainly has, Jackie. No quarter given or asked. Both teams are putting it up to each other, and Linfield seem to be have the upper hand at this moment in time. Good save from Elliot Morris, and the athleticism of the 36-year-old Glenn Ferguson, excellent.
Yeah, Fergie in there, looking for his 43rd goal of the season. And if he scores today, he'll have scored in every round, including the final. That would be quite something for the man who's just been crowned the Castlereagh Glentoran Supporters Ulster Player of the Year. First player ever to do that 3 times. 2001, 2004 and 2006. Not bad for a 36-year-old.
No, I think he deserves everything he gets. He's a credit to his family, to himself. He just kept working on it. A very modest and a very unassuming lad as well with it.
Mr. Jeffrey refused to speak about a clean sweep. He takes nothing for granted. I know what he means. Ferguson. Here he is, he'll get another chance. Oh, he's done so well, Ferguson. And all of his experience, all of his strength, his talent coming out there in that movement.
Yeah, that was great movement, great swivel, great turn from him, and luckily enough for Glentoran, someone was in to block the shot.
Kearney goes down. Referee will be lenient, I think, in a day like this.
Well, I think, there's young Barry. I've just been speaking about him, a wary kid. He's out there to do a job today. Obviously, his manager, Paul Miller, has a lot of faith and a lot of confidence. Linfield in the central midfield role are very strong with Galt and McAreevy.
Yeah, we've just seen it again.
And certainly he wasn't afraid to put the foot in, but you're not allowed to do that, Jackie. Unfortunately, it's a free kick against.
Well, there he is, the great man in your picture. He got a hat-trick in the CIS final against Glentoran. He got the goal which clinched the league. He got the goal which won the County Antrim Shield. And there he is, almost putting his side one up in the final. He must think he can do anything this season. He also scored Linfield's 150th goal this season and the 450th goal of his own career.
Well, that's absolutely fantastic. I think he thinks he's Spider-Man the way he's throwing himself about. I wonder what he's on, Jackie.
It'd make you sick, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it just?
I thought we were great players, Marty.
You can speak for yourself, Jackie. I never was.
Well, neither was I, but time embellishes everything, Marty.
Absolutely. You can dream on, eh?
So
that save, Elliot Morris, that reflex save will certainly do his confidence good, and it was good backup from his defenders and closing down the low spike. Didn't get a shot on target, but it was good. So many players there.
Colourful day, young faces in the crowd, and Elliot Morris holds on to it. But he's had a great season, Elliot Morris, and I believe in one of the games here this season against Linfield, they said it was one of the best goalkeeping performances they had seen here for many, many years.
Was that in the 6-0 defeat, Jackie? No, I think it was in the Leach. I think he was absolutely outstanding on the night. He's a good keeper. Between himself and Alan Manis, they're as good as almost a Korean keeper gave you her.
Lovely day, a lovely scene. Great advert for football. And so far, all is quiet, and let's hope it stays that way. Well, not quiet, they're singing their heads off, but you know what I mean. 126th Irish Cup final since it all started in 1881. And before you ask, Marty, no, I didn't commentate that one.
I'm quite sure you didn't, Jackie.
5 post-war finals between the big two, and Glentoran have won all of them.
Yeah, it's surprising the amount of times they played each other. I thought there would have been a lot more games, you know, considering the big two. But Linfield as yet haven't turned Glentoran over. Can this be today? They'll do it.
Yeah, 14 big two finals in all. They've won 7 each. So today is all about Irish Cup supremacy. And talking about the figure 7th, it's the 7th meeting of the size this season. Linfield have won 4. They've drawn 2. Glentoran have not recorded a victory. Both will be in Europe next season. Both are in the Setanta Cup. But Glentoran, as Linfield look for that clean sweep, their biggest rivals trying to deny them. And they are looking, Paul Miller's team from the Oval, looking for their first silverware of the season. Trying to get the ball into the danger area. Away by Irvin. McAreevy, very much the engine room in that midfield, along with Galt. Halliday will give chase, but it will beat them all.
Just at the moment, I feel both teams are feeling each other out. You know, there's been a few tackles that went in. If anything, the only difference at the moment are the two strikers in Linfield. You know, you had Thompson with a half chance. You had Glenn Ferguson with a half chance. Michael Halliday perhaps should have done better earlier on.
Well, last time they met, that man got the goal in the 99th minute in extra time down at the Alex Russell stand end. And maybe that's how he got the nod to start the game today. They saw him as a lucky omen. He also got the winner against Marty Quinn's Coleraine in 2004.
Thanks for that, Jackie.
Shane keeps an eye on the man on green, but no need to worry. Little touch there just as that ball went out of play. Pat McShane, second final. His other appearance was a victory over Portadown in 2002. Oh yeah, there's not much in that. Just over a quarter of an hour gone, 16 minutes in this nationwide Irish Cup final at Windsor Park. The big two. A goal would change everything, would liven everything, even though it's been a lively start.
It certainly has. There's been a couple of half chances
they both like
at
to go
either end.
Forward, don't they?
They do, Jackie. Both teams are positive. They're both attacking minded, and they're both out to win the game.
The last meeting of those 6 this season, it was 0-0 here last month in the league, but before that it was 6-0 Linfield here in the Setanta Cup. And whilst the 0-0 would have given them a boost, Marty, you just wonder, with some of the players, would they have got over the 6-0?
Well, you know, the facts of the matter are they haven't scored in their last couple of games via Linfield, you know, and it's always in the player's mind, it's always in the striker's mind. But I do feel if, you know, Glentoran have a bench at the moment with Tolan, with Morgan, with Holmes. They do have versatility there. They can change it around, and I think they have an excellent bench.
Yeah, and we've mentioned the Glentoran subs. Linfield of David Laumer, striker, Tim McCann, utility man, former Glentoran player of course, and Andrew Hunter, a central defender. But there's the central defender who got the nod, William Murphy, organising things along with his keeper and his skipper, Noel Bailey.
I think they've been the rock that Linfield have built on. The two centre halves have been absolutely outstanding all season, Jackie, and also today.
Yeah, well, I mean, what more can you say about Noel Bailey? 17 years at Windsor Park, 853 games. It's quite remarkable. And that was Bailey with the headed clearance. Berry brings it out left again. Here's Melock. First time ball in. Who's there? Bailey. Ferguson, he's come deep. And that time, his distribution wasn't quite up to his own very high standards. Morris dispatches it back. And Bailey, very cleverly, holding off his man, let it run through to Alan Manus.
Well, what else can you say about Noel Bailey, Jackie? He has all the t-shirts, been there and done it, and still playing to a very high standard.
Just turned 35. It's amazing, and Ferguson 36. They've looked after themselves, and they're great role models for young players. Here's Melock.
Absolutely.
Halliday. William Murphy did his job. Sticking close to Halliday. They'll not be far apart, those two, this afternoon. Melock to try again. Got it back from Lockhart. Low cross, Halliday. No way through. Galt. Into the gap, Thompson. He's learned so much from Ferguson, has Thompson, how to hold off, fend off defenders and bring other teammates into play. Jim Irvin knocks it out of play. He's living the dream. He was a ball boy for Linfield 6 years ago, Jim Irvin. Brown, it's not a bad ball, but just a bit close to Manus in the end.
Jim Irvin, yeah, Jim's an example of the way things could work out for a lad coming back from England. He was not Forest as an apprentice.
Yeah, 3 years over there.
That's right, you know, and he didn't let it bother him. He's getting on with the game again.
Thompson, Ferguson, deflection, but no real power on the finish to trouble Morris. But Ferguson linking up with Thompson. The signs are there for Glentoran to worry.
Yes, as I was saying, Jackie, I just feel that they're the difference between the two teams at the moment. Their presence, their first touch, and Glentoran are going to have to be very mean in that area. They can't afford to give anything away.
It keeps saying, again, one of the old sayings, from end to end. It's all a bit of a tangle. And what's the end result? Throw into Glentoran. Kearney seems to have recovered from the knock he got earlier. Lockhart wrestling. Pat McShane. Two of the hard men. They don't stand back, do they, these two?
No, they certainly don't. Two very competitive players, and they've had fantastic careers in the league as well. Pat McShane still goes on from strength to strength, as does Darren Lockhart. Darren's been a bit unfortunate over recent times with injuries, and but he's back here today and a fit lad, box-to-box player.
Nice shot of Andy Regan when we were looking at that incident again. Right below her gaze. If there was anything untoward, she would have been waving her flag. This today, of course, would be league champions Linfield against the runners-up as well, adding more spice. Those fans ready for a goal, coming up to the halfway point of this first half. But a goal would open up the whole game. Not that it hasn't been that open so far. They both like to play the positive way.
That's right, it hasn't been a bad game. Both felt each other out now. I would expect things to open up in the next 20 minutes or so.
The sun comes out strongly again. McDonough did well, the man who arrived in January from Shamrock Rovers. Bailey did well, one number 11 against the other as Lockhart made the run. But the blue 11 up to the job as always.
Yeah, you can't beat the experience. But again, as I said, a box-to-box player in Lockhart, he runs from deep, and it's as well Noel Bailey used all his experience. And Noel isn't one bit fussy where he puts the ball, but he's a defender, and he defended well there.
Busy Cobb stand.
Busy Linfield goalmouth. Gavin Milo, the dead ball specialist, to take it again. Off the head of Mounsey it was, and Glendinning will settle for the throw. Turned 36 last month, Mark Glendinning. 8th final, that's quite a record. He's won 3 with 3 different clubs, Bangor, Glenavon and Glentoran, a couple of years ago. I'll not mention who they beat, Marty.
No, I'm sure you won't, Jack. You'll remind me later on, probably.
Long throw on the breeze. Lockhart gets a flick on it. Manus got a touch. He also got a touch from Nixon. Unfairly, free kick Linfield.
Yeah, Colin was in there competing. Once again, if you touch a goalkeeper nowadays it's a free kick.
Is Nixon okay? He's collided with the post, and as we watch this again, he's just slumped onto his side. Oh, he come down very badly. That was quite a jolt. We'll see this again. It doesn't make pleasant viewing. Goes across, up they go. Oh, that's dreadful. Let's hope he's okay. Dear, dear.
Yeah, nasty.
We'll get a close-up here. That's if we want a close-up, not really. Dear.
That could have been very nasty, Jackie. Thank goodness he seems to be responding to treatment.
Glentoran doctor out there as well. He's just 27, Colin Nixon. His manager looks on, very worried man. So too does the referee. Let's say he's a bit groggy. We've got a stretcher being brought onto the pitch. Never like to see that. Sean Holmes is warming up. He's the only defensive type player, as Marty was talking about their positive substitutes. The others are Morgan and Tolan.
Let's just hope the stretcher isn't needed, Jackie. I would imagine if they do have to change things around, they'll bring Sean Holmes in at left back and put Mark Glendinning in the centre back position, I would imagine. But let's hope Colin's fit to resume again.
Yeah, let's hope he's just jarred himself. And it will ease away in a few minutes, but it looks worse than that. Well, the doctor doesn't look too concerned. They are looking at his back. He really fell at a very awkward angle.
I'm just relieved to see that he has a bit of neck movement, Jack. That was a very, very nasty fall there. It could have been
indeed,
could have been very dangerous.
He's talking there as well, another good sign. But you can see the pain in his face. That's the goalkeeping coach, former Northern Ireland international Paul Key, the man I call legend. I think that's perhaps a message back to the boss, who'll not want to see a skipper taken off. Are those an ironic applause to the Linfield fans? He doesn't look too happy. A warning from the fourth official.
Well, obviously I know what that's about. You know, there may be some people having a pop at Colin, and Paul has turned around, which he shouldn't have done, and demonstrated with him, and I could read his words. He was saying a disgrace. So the fourth official, Mr. McCourt, will love that. He'll be onto his case right away.
So Nixon getting treatment. Doctor sounding his back. Deep breathing. Meantime, his team are down to 10 men, but they're trying to make their way forward. Murphy halts all of that. It's over the top. Now there could be pace here from Thompson, but there was also pace from Sean Ward. Poor kickoff. Well, Morris made a mess of that, and young Simpson helps him out of it. but Linfield have possession again. It's with Irvin. Looks for Ferguson. Well, got a touch off the head of Simpson. And I'm glad to say that as we watch this replay again, what a poor kick from Elliot Morris. That could have been costly. Nixon is ambling round the pitch. He's jogging. He looks okay.
Yeah, I'm delighted to see him back.
There he is. He's back on.
That's great.
But I'm not sure he looks 100% happy about it all. Darren Lockhart, I think, is the man down. Text number there, 81771. They go our website, 81771. Some of them may be discussed by Stephen and the boys. Coming up to half an hour gone. Sorry, Marty, it's still 0-0. We still await the first goal.
Nicky's a tough nut, Jackie. I'm just looking at him. He'll run that off. I mean, give him a few minutes, probably he'll be fine. Just watching Darren here, I think he got a bit of a slap in the head there, and
I think it might have been maybe McShane headed his head slightly.
Yes, perhaps. Yeah,
but he's all right. I'll just keep an eye on Nixon. Glentoran fans happy to see their men getting back to their feet. Lockhart has to go off and then come on again. One of those very stupid rules, in my opinion.
What's that all about, Jackie?
I don't know. You're a manager, Marty. You're the expert. You tell me.
Expert, Jackie. I used to love a drop ball. Nowadays you can't have it. People kick the ball out now when someone goes down. If they've ripped their tights, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Used to love it on a drop ball in the 50-50. That was your chance.
Do you remember me wearing those coloured tights? Back to the action. So remember your text, 81771. Your opinions, your queries, your thoughts. Well, Lockhart jumped into that challenge a little bit. It's taken quickly. Referee allows it. McShane. Thompson. Oh, he's done well, Thompson. Turned his man, but he couldn't produce a venomous finish. Disappointment for the young man who's now full-time at Linfield. And a lot of people are saying, is this his last game? David Jeffrey's giving nothing away. But I think I agree with Roy Coyle. He may be here next season. I think he's a blue man. But if he got the chance to go across the channel, I'm sure he would have to take it. Halliday. Berry. It's blocked. He's got the corner. Michael Galt felt that, but it was a great block tackle. And I have to come clean, young Ryan Berry, 17, and I cover most of the top matches week in and week out. This is my first sighting of him, Marty.
And me, Jackie, you know, but I've been impressed with what I've seen of the kid up to now. You know,
he's busy.
He's busy, and he's obviously not afraid to put the foot. And Michael Galt and Paul McAreevy have been pretty anonymous up to now.
Alan Manus and the Linfield defence make ready. In by Melock again. Here's Glendinning, always very good dead ball situations. Good ball in by Berry, and Murphy had to get it away. Ace Predator Halliday was right behind him.
That was a great first touch from the boy and an excellent cross and to the unmarked Halliday. And Willie Murphy just got his head to before him.
It's tremendous atmosphere. It's great to see a big crowd. Melock gets it in. It's a bit close to the keeper. Did well, Manus. The left fist got it away. Glentoran have the throw to keep the pressure on Linfield's number one.
Just talking about Peter Thompson as you were, Jackie, you know, yes, he probably will get another chance, and I think he was probably wise to wait another while to see what came up, because obviously there was money on the table for Gretna, but I don't think that would have been the right move for the boy to go to Gretna in the Scottish First Division, I think.
That's right. I was talking to another of my commentating mates. He's here today, Alan McDonald, now helping out at Queen's Park Rangers. And I said, what is you here today? Are you looking at Thompson, Galt? He says, oh, no. So 12 minutes left to the break. It's still 0-0.
was hardly overlooking at Glenn Ferguson or Mark Glendenny, I wouldn't think, Jackie, would you? Maybe 10, 14 years ago, they would have been great signings for him.
He says, I'm just over for a break. Sometimes managers and assistant managers talk with forked tongues. Here's Glendenning. It's a good through ball. The flag is up. And Lockhart certainly looked to be offside. He's kicked the ball away. Boos from the Linfield fans. There's the lady with the flag. She got it right. Just a warning to Lockhart.
I think that probably suffice. If he steps out of line again, he'll be in diffs.
Sorry, I took my eye off that replay. I think when it was played, he might have been on.
I think when the ball was played, I think you're right, Jackie. I think he was onside.
I just missed the start of that replay there. My producer, the ever-reliable Gareth, tells me he was onside.
That's where Lockhart's very good, actually. As I said earlier on, he makes good deep runs and he gets in behind people and he can score goals. Just feel the game is very evenly balanced at the moment, Jackie. You know, there's nothing between the teams.
Long throw by Ward. It was a good throw. McDonough. Well, he got it forward at the second attempt. Now, Halliday straight into the hands of Manus. Yeah, we've got a... It's Oran Kearney again. Now, Oran had a knock earlier.
I didn't quite see what happened in there, Jackie. He must have...
McAreevy going in.
With him.
Well, we were shielded there by the body of Alan Manus, so we didn't really see what happened. Penny for your thoughts, David. They're big favourites today. They're 4-7. You could get 7-2 in Glentoran, which is very generous.
Very generous odds for a cup final. I would think Paul Miller will probably be getting the happier of the two managers.
Those fans we saw, they'll not have any money in Glentoran, that's for sure.
I wouldn't think so.
They're going down like flies here. Not this time, it's Oran Kearney.
Yeah, both teams are well up for Jackie, and they're putting themselves about, and they're not afraid to leave the foot in, and there hasn't been any real malice in any of the tackles. Which as well, the bird flu symptoms are around, Jack. I think that boy might have been in the pot by now.
He's still here, or she, I'm not sure. Jorge Sanchez is here, there he is, with Bobby Jameson of the Premier League, chairman of the Premier League. That's Laurie looking like one of the Blues brothers with the shades on. Maybe looking at Alan Manus and Peter Thompson with regard to the American tour coming up very soon. Games against Uruguay in New York and then against Romania in Chicago coming up at the end of May. And here is young Thompson turning this way and that. Did well. It's a throw in, didn't go for the corner. They expect. And goes the corner. Glendenning it was who got his head to it. Irvin. Oh, that's a good ball to find Mounsey. Danger here. Deflected off Glendenning. Glentoran get it out. It was Nixon. Here's McShane. He's got a bit of time, a bit of space. All the way across, and Ferguson, well, he had more time than he thought, but he had no power when he hit the volley. Danger again, Marty.
Yes, indeed. The amount of room that I think it was Oran Kearney, number 10, had in the box there surprised me very much. Pity the cross from Pat just wasn't the best. You need to get that one above the, get that one in the air and let them get a head on it. Simple save for Elliot Morris.
Meantime, as we get back to the play, Gary Brown has gone down. Free kick, about 22 yards. Well, Paul Miller out of the cup when he was with Newry, beaten by Marty's Coleraine. Back in it with Glentoran. He's in a final, and his team are pressing at the moment. Linfield line up the wall. Manus trying to line up his wall. I think we have, 5 men. And it looks like Gary Brown is going to hit it. And he hit it much too high. Glentoran's top scorer this season with 18, playing in his first final. Probably he saw the headlines as he took that top corner job, 1-0. It wasn't to be. Poor effort.
It was a poor effort, actually. That's what Glentoran would actually miss one of their subs today. Sean Holmes, cultured left peg, and from that area he'd be a good striker of the ball.
He's got a sweet left foot.
He certainly has, yeah.
Mr. Holmes, former Northern Ireland international, played across the channel with Wrexham. We have, 6 minutes left to the break. And we could have a few minutes of injury time. We've had a few people down. McShane. Here's Thompson, always eager to make the run. Holding it up, did well. William Murphy joins in. Busy goalmouth. Lockhart was in the way though. Irvin gets it back up there. Ferguson gets a touch on it. That's Glendinning. Anywhere will do. And Bailey takes the sting out of everything, finds his keeper.
Just sometimes I feel the Linfield final ball, Jackie, hasn't been good enough. It's not beating the first man, and you're not going to score goals from that type of quality.
Must be very frustrating for managers like yourself, Marty. Corner kicks, free kicks, and it doesn't beat that first defender.
Yeah, there's things
Drive
like
you
that.
Crazy.
Yeah, they would, Jackie. That's some of the things you emphasise to your players. Make sure you beat the first man, and next thing you know, the boys are just going against all you've preached to them. Is it any wonder some of us take a sarsaparilla and a cigarette now and again? I wonder sometimes.
Thompson, Glendinning held him up, and then Simpson. Throw-in goes to Linfield. Young Simpson, first final, 19 years of age. He's a full-timer as well at the Oval. Gary Brown, well, Irvin getting a little bit excited. So too was McDonough.
Yes, Jackie, as you were saying, young Brown is now a full-time pro, and it's a way forward for the Irish League. We're a bit behind, well, quite a bit behind the League of Ireland clubs, and to come into their standard, we're going to have to get more players on full-time contracts.
Wasn't a great tackle that there, as we saw it again. No, a few studs showing. That's why Irvin reacted. Now, McAreevy, crowded goalmouth. Near post, too close to the keeper. William Murphy was a bit too close for comfort.
Well, he had to go for it, Jackie. The ball was in the air to be won by someone, and he made a genuine effort. I don't think there was any intent.
Well, let's have a look at it. I thought the keeper had it. Well, he had to go for it.
Well, I feel he had to go for it.
Maybe he went a second time.
Well, as a centre half coming into the box, you would expect him to be competitive and put the foot in. So
as a former centre half, you would know that, Marty.
Carry on, William. I like it.
I should remind the viewers that you were centre half for Cliffville 1979.
That's right.
Beat Portadown 3-2.
That's correct.
I have a cup winner beside me. As a player and as a manager. David Jeffrey never won it as a player.
There you are now, eh?
He lost one with Linfield. He lost one with Ards at the end of his career. Wow, Jim Irvin.
Yeah.
I think that might be the first card of the afternoon.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't stand at any ceremony there.
No, I think that was payback for what happened in the opposite corner, Jackie.
Well, he's got the wrong man. That was McDonough the first time. This was Sean Ward.
Yes, you're right, Jackie. Yeah, but I think in that situation you're not too too fussy when the steam's flying out of the air. I think a good position for Glentoran if you can get a good quality delivery. But what a time to score! A couple of minutes.
He did deliver the yellow card. Yeah, and Jim can have no complaints. Now a goal at this stage, just before half-time, would be quite something for either side. So wait for the corner, off the head of Murphy.
You know, I can see the players de-escalating with Gavin Malloy. You know, you can't put such height and elevation on the ball there. You need to drive it in with pace, and all it needs is a flick. That one was too deep to the back post. Yes, always a defender's ball.
It was too much of a lobby, loopy ball, which is not a good ball. As you say, you drive it in, touch it all, and it could be in the net.
Exactly.
Right, they make ready in the middle. In it comes. Lockhart didn't get there. It's not away yet. Alice, it's over the bar, is it? It's not. Oh, it's in. It's 1-0. It's that man Halliday. Can you believe it? He scored cup final winning goals in the past. And in 2006, he sent the Glentoran fans into raptures. It's 1-0 for the underdogs just before the break. History repeats itself. Marty, what a moment.
Well, you know, I'm not surprised. I cast my mind back to the 2002 final, and I see Michael Halliday in an identical situation, scoring a goal to win the cup for Glentoran. Can it be his day again? Ball should have been cleared. It was bouncing about. Should have been out of danger area earlier, I feel.
How did he get it in? But they will not care. It's in, as you say. It's similar to the goal in 2001 it was in the Big Two final. It bounced about. Was it in? Was it over the bar? It wasn't. It was in the net finally. And Halliday was there. His 13th goal of the season. Unlucky for some. Don't you believe it? His first cup goal this season. And how important will it be? Get in there. Halliday does it again. And there's the reaction. 19th game in charge, and the boss prepared to do a jig.
Absolutely delighted.
He'll not be knocking John Travolta off his pedestal, but that'll do.
I'm just looking at Colin Nixon here, Jackie. That ball through, he's really struggling to turn there. A fit Colin Nixon would have nipped that in the bud very quickly. Whereas I just feel, will he come out for the second half? It's hard to want to, but whether he'll be allowed to come out or not is another thing. I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on Nixon, and he doesn't look too happy. They are very happy.
This is a big test of character now for Linfield. They're not used to being in this situation domestically, and let's see how Davy can get them rallied.
Well, there he is. He looks a bit pained. I'm not sure. Will we see him for the second half? He'll want to play, but will he be able to play as he climbs on the back of Glenn Ferguson? Well, nothing wrong with his climbing skills there. No. I did say a goal for anybody just before half-time would be quite something. Glentoran have struck. Will Linfield strike back immediately? We're into the second minute. Sorry, Marty. We're into the second minute of time added on. McAreevy is off the head of Berry. Pressure from Linfield as they try to hit back. Berry did well to get his head in the way. Over it comes. Lockhart bravely putting his head in. Well, that changes the afternoon completely, Marty, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. As you say, Jackie, Lockhart put the foot in. Glentoran aren't afraid to put the foot or the head in here. They're very competitive. Obviously, Paul has done his homework and he's asked them to go out and match the physicalness of the Linfield team, and at the moment they're probably winning that battle. The midfield of Galt.
That could be another yellow card for Lockhart.
Yeah, quite justifiably so, Jackie.
Yeah, I don't think he can complain.
No complaints there at all. No need for that.
It was late and it was premeditated.
It certainly was. But I'm just looking at Galt and Paul McAreevy in the Linfield midfield. That has been their engine room. This is where everything has been happening. But in fairness, there's been nothing coming out of the two players, and all credit to Willow McDonough and the young boy Barry, whom we haven't noticed an awful lot from either, but they're nullifying each other.
Could it be that day when the season Linfield have had catches up with them in terms of energy and commitment? Murphy, Ferguson, the overhead. Oh, it's in! It's Thompson, the other ace predator, has brought things level in this cup final. What an end to this first half. First it was Glentoran, and now the league champions and favourites are level. The manager applauds. They are back in it. Peter Thompson, 7th Irish Cup goal this season, his 47th of the season, and what a time to get it. It was quite similar really in many ways, the ball bobbling about, and there it is, found a way through. And who else but the young man who'll get the golden boot at the end of this season, Peter Thompson, in his first Irish Cup final. And that's how you celebrate a debut, putting one in the net, which he does so well and so often. Dejection for Elliot Morris. There's the reaction, the big fella's away. John Travolta Mark II. Hard for Morris to see it, he didn't really see it. A cluster of legs, it's through, it's 1-1, and while all of that's going on, the half-time whistle is gone. It's Glentoran 1, it's Linfield 1 at the end of a breathless end to the first half. Here's Paul Lehman, injured Glentoran captain, with Mark.
Thank you, Jackie. Paul, that last 5 minutes just about had it all. You thought you were going in 1-up.
Yeah, I thought we were going to go in there half-time with a 1-0 lead, but you know, unfortunately for us, Linfield have popped up there in the end, got the goal, and you know, it's a bad time to concede a goal, but it's important now we go into the dressing room and pick ourselves up for the start of the second half and have another go at them.
Just prior to that, you were sitting here basking with me as you were saying, Michael Halliday, what a record in cup finals.
Yeah, he's got a fantastic record. He's a player for the big occasion. He proved that again today, popping up with a very important goal, but as I say, it's unfortunate Linfield's equalised, but it's still all to play for.
And all of a sudden the situation has flipped. You're going in now, probably just that little bit on the back foot, because it looked as though he slightly went to sleep there, caught napping for that equaliser.
Yeah, you know, as I say, it's a great time for Linfield to score, a terrible time for us to concede, and you know, I've been in that position before. You sort of go in at half-time a wee bit dejected, but it's important the manager galvanises the lads again and we can get back on the way we were playing. I thought we were playing pretty well there and taking the game to Linfield. We need to do that again in the second half.
A very evenly matched first half. Do you expect more goals in the second half?
Yeah, I think it's evenly matched. It's quite an open game, and I'd say I predict a few more goals, and hopefully for Glentoran.
Will we be looking to the bench, the likes of a Chris Morgan?
Yeah, you have Chris Morgan, Jody Tolan on the bench, two proven goal scorers, and if need be we can turn to one of them guys, and hopefully someone will do the business for us. Fingers crossed.
Final word on you. It must be pretty cruel on you as captain this year, obviously sitting this one out due to that dislocated shoulder. You've undergone surgery. What is the state of health?
Yeah, well, I had the surgery in February, and it's, you know, there's a 12-14 week recovery period. I've started doing some light training, but it's still a lot of pain in the shoulder, but I'm on the way back.
Okay, Paul, Stephen, just as I hand back to you, by the way, I spoke to the Glentoran bench, and the latest on Colin Nixon is that it was the back into the post and he's had severe difficulty breathing. They say that they will work on him at half-time and hope to have him back out for the second half.
Well, before I talk to my guests here this afternoon, it's been an enthralling first half. We have got a half-time quiz for you. The prize is one of the new Northern Ireland shirts, which will be signed by the whole team. And it's a pretty easy question. Who supplied the pass for David Healy's goal against England last September? Text your answer and your name to 81771. Billy Hamilton, Michael O'Neill and Roy Coyle are with me as the rain starts to come on here at Windsor Park. But Billy, what a cracking first half.
Unbelievable game, Stephen. I've never seen a more open cup final for many years. In the first 6 or 7 minutes there was 3 or 4 chances to each team. A really good spectacle.
We thought both teams were going to go in scoreless, but it all happened in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, that's right. There was loads of incident in the first half, loads of goal-mouth action, and Glentoran, I think, deservedly got themselves ahead, and unfortunately they just couldn't hold onto it, and Linfield reacted as I think Davy would want them to, and they go in at level terms, but Glentoran will be very disappointed to lose that goal just before half-time.
Roy, your thoughts on the first half? Your thoughts on the first half, Roy?
I thought Glentoran were the better team. I thought the they used the elements very well. It's a very, very windy day. They got a lot of ball in the box. It caused a lot of problems. And they did something that Linfield's been doing to people all season. They scored from a cross ball. They got bodies in there. They got a good quality ball in. It was a bit scrappy. Both goals were a bit scrappy. But at the end of the day, I think they'll be really disappointed they couldn't hold on to 1-0 going in at half time.
Okay, let's have a look at some of those first half highlights. Glentoran made a great start, Billy.
They were causing problems from set pieces, and here you see Colin Nixon getting on the end of a corner. The ball's floated in lovely. Colin makes a good leap. I think that's Colin, and it's it's been. That's where all the problems have come. This ball was flicked on, and Michael Halliday just didn't get a boot on it, but it was a good flick on from Lockhart. The conditions have played their part because it's very hard to defend. It's hard for Linfield to defend. The wind is swirling and it's hanging up in the air, and it's hard to get out clear.
We're trying to get you a couple of umbrellas up just to keep the rain off you, but you're nearly like Mary Poppins there. But after that early Glentoran start, Peter Thompson showed his credibility.
Yeah, this is good play actually. We see it here, Thompson at his best. Good 1-2 with Glenn Ferguson. And once he's away here, the young centre-back Simpson can't get back at him. It's on his left side, doesn't make the good contact that we would normally expect him to, and Elliott's able to push it around the post, but he would be disappointed there, Thompson, because that's where he's at his strongest, running through and goal like that. But it wasn't a great finish.
Just scuffed it, Roy.
Yeah, he did. Obviously, we all know the boy's capable of much better than that there. The one thing he has to do when you get in those situations is make the keeper work, and he didn't do that.
Well, they certainly made Elliot Morris work shortly after that, Billy. Great double save.
Yeah, this was a great piece of play. The ball comes up to Thompson. He holds it up well here, and then he brings Pat McShane into the game. Now McShane takes a touch and then delivers a great cross. Mouncey gets a header, a good reaction save from Elliot, and then Glenn Ferguson with a bicycle kick, and Elliot Morris is a great double save.
Good effort from him, wasn't it, Michael?
Yeah, it's a great save from Elliot, very instinctive, and the second one's maybe better because it bounces in front of him. But a lot of the action has come from crosses with maybe 2 or 3 efforts at goal. You know, there's been a lot of scrambles in the box similar to that.
And then coming towards half time before the 2 goals, Roy, both sides had a chance each.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, again, it's a cross ball coming into the box. It's headed back out, but they don't take the pressure off. They keep getting the ball just back in, and hopeful ball. It's a scrappy goal, but Glentoran not worry about how scrappy it is. Sorry, that wasn't a goal. Sorry, that was the chance that Michael Halliday had early on to have. But I think what's important today is both goalkeepers, because the 2 goal mouths are very, very bouncy and very bobbly, and it could cause a lot of problems in there.
And the wind especially has been very strong first half. I think it's getting even stronger for the second half, Billy.
It's going to put a lot of pressure on the Glentoran defence and the goalkeeper in the second half, because Linfield, who are usually strong and tall in that department, have had problems clearing their lines. The ball is hung there and it's hard to get away, and I think it's going to cause problems for the Glentoran defence.
Glentoran kept trying and trying. What about Michael Halliday? 2 cup final winners, and he pops up here to do this again today.
Yeah, I mean, this is an unbelievable goal actually, because the first header, I think it was McDonough, heads it down into the ground, but he keeps it alive again. It's a good save by Manas, but it's a great finish, very instinctive. But as again, you know, I think the key is today is to just keep the ball alive in the box as long as possible. The defenders, both sides, having terrible trouble trying to get it away, and as it eventually ends up, I think Manas maybe palms it back in the direction of Michael Halliday, who ends up actually finishing it. But it was at that time, I thought it was a goal that Glentoran deserved.
Roy, we talked before the game about who Paul Miller would choose to put up front, and when you've got a cup final pedigree like that, it's hard to leave him out.
Yeah, he's the talisman in cup games, not just in cup games, I have to say. Michael has always come up trumps in certain games, you know, especially when you need him, and today he certainly has done that. I think the most interesting thing that's going to happen just coming out at half time is just psychologically Glentoran conceding that goal late on, and I think Colin Nixon, that's a big one. Whether that injury, whether he's got the medical team in there is going to cater for that, get him ready. He looked a wee bit dizzy coming off to me. I think that's an important one to look for.
Yes, we got the update just at half time. Colin Nixon will be getting some treatment to see if he can come out second half. We're not quite sure yet, but the Glens went in all square because up popped Peter Thompson.
Yes, Glentoran will be kicking himself, just scored before half time. They should have defended this, but the ball's bubbling about in the box, and if it falls to Thompson, and that's one person you don't want it to fall to, and he instinctively rattles it, and the goalkeeper's got no chance. He's unsighted here. Glenn, it's knocking about all over the place, and then he just gets a boot to go through the defender's legs. No chance for a goalkeeper.
Well, first McAreevy does well actually, keeping the thing alive, and and it has a good hit. You know, he's only about 6-7 yards out, but they do well just to keep the thing alive in there. And McAreevy in particular fights well to get hold of the ball, lays it back from him. It's a good finish.
Well,
I think that's
Fergus.
word of the day, actually,
Yes.
today, Stephen. Today's conditions are not conducive for good football. Today's conditions are about getting the ball forward, getting the ball in the box, getting bodies in the box, and whoever gets the most bodies in there and the most ball and gets a little bit of luck will come out here on top. It will not be about football today.
Yeah, and Linfield probably playing with a pretty strong wind in the second half.
Yes, they've got the ascendancy in terms of an element, but it's how you use the element. Maybe just that goal in half time will give them a lift. It'll be interesting to see, but I think Colin Nixon's a big part to play. If he doesn't come out this second half, I think it could be a problem.
Okay, thanks very much for the moment, gentlemen. Of course, we promised you earlier on we would try and track down Glenn Little's winning goal for Glentoran 10 years ago. We found it.
Third on injured at the moment, but play continues. Glenn Little runs at the heart of that defence. Still going. Glenn Little, oh, what a goal! Sensational goal from Glenn Little. It's 1-0 Glentoran. And they go absolutely wild in the North Stand. It may not win a cup final, but it's certainly a goal good enough to win a cup final. What a strike by the big Englishman.
Well, Mark Sidebottom's live.
It scarcely seems like 10 years ago, but I'll bet you haven't forgotten that cup-winning goal.
No, I haven't. No, I can't believe it. To me, when people say it's 10 years, it's been a long time, but it's gone well ever since.
You've been watching this one 10 years on. I think it's actually the first time you've been back since you're played with Glentoran. What do you make of the first half?
Well, typical Glentoran Linfield derby match. It's blood and thunder. There's tackles flying in, and it was a bit scrappy, and then it just came to life at the end there.
It reminded you a little of those 10 years ago.
Yeah, similar sort of game. Not a lot was happening, and I think the conditions haven't helped. The pitch is a bit sticky. It's getting stuck under people's feet. The wind swirling around as well, so it's been difficult, but you thought Glentoran edged it there when right on half time, but to concede one in the 49th minute, I think it was, that's a big blow to them.
How do you see second half going?
Well, hopefully it's similar to 10 years ago. It'll open out, there'll be a few more chances and a few more goals for Glentoran.
For you, quite a bit has been happening. 10 years on, you're now with Reading and you're now Premiership football. It awaits.
Yeah, it's took me a bit of a while, and I'd like to have got there a bit sooner, but no, it's finally made it to the Premiership, so hopefully it goes well.
So you'll be rubbing shoulders with the Man Uniteds and the Chelseas of this world. What are you expecting there?
Well, yeah, I think it's always difficult to know what to expect. You get into the Premiership and you never know how you're going to get on until you're playing against these teams, but we'll give it our best shot and hopefully we can have more than a season.
The good old Belfast weather hasn't let us down. You've soaked your shirt through here.
18 degrees when I got here, and then the rain's come, so yeah, bit of a blow, but no, it might help the pitch now, slick it up a bit, and the teams will be able to get it down and pass the ball a bit better.
We wish you well in the Premiership next season. Thanks for joining us, Glenn Little. He's off back up to the stand, and meantime it's back up to you, Stephen.
Yes, thanks very much indeed. Great to see Glenn Little here at Windsor Park this afternoon. It's half-time at the Cup final. It's also the halfway point at the promotion-relegation battle. Last night, Donegal Celtic beat Institute 3-1 in the first leg of the playoff. In the opening minute, Daniel Lyons put the West Belfast club ahead. Now, Institute had a chance to level from the penalty spot, but Declan Brown saved Rory Boyle's effort. Great save, and Donegal Celtic's second goal came at the start of the second half. Paul McVeigh headed past Alan Ryan. Institute, though, didn't give up, and Gareth Sproul scored a vital away goal for them to pull his side back into the game with 10 minutes to play. But Donegal Celtic scored again just 2 minutes later. Kevin Duff on target. The second leg is at Drumahoe on Wednesday night. Well, Donegal Celtic, Billy, look like they could be on their way up to the Premier League.
Well, they're going to have to, it's not easy going away from home, but the away goal might be important as well. But they're in the driving seat now, and it looked like a good performance from them last night.
Teams will be out very shortly, Michael. How do you see things going second half?
I think Linfield are actually going to throw everything the first 10 or 15 minutes like Glentoran, particularly with the elements. And I think if Glentoran can get over that 10-15 minute period, keep themselves in the game, then the cup's there for the winning.
Yeah, Roy, as you say, Colin Nixon, if he comes out, it's going to be key for the Glens.
And just after seeing him coming out there, he led the team out, which is a big plus. I think, as Michael says, the first 15 minutes, it's how they react to that goal just going in against them at half-time after having had a tremendous lift, thinking they're going in at 1-0, they're going in at 1 each. So it's going to be important that they settle very quickly.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. I think in the last 12 cup finals when Glentoran have scored first, they've always gone on to win. We shall see. Let's rejoin our commentary team this afternoon, Jackie Fullerton and Marty Quinn.
Thank you very much indeed, Stephen. 45 minutes left, but if not, we will have extra time today. And if it's not settled after that, it will be a replay back here next Thursday. Will he be playing next Thursday? Colin Nixon is up and out for the second half. Mark Sidebottom, what's the update?
Just spoken to the Glentoran camp. The doctor tells me Colin Nixon will start the second half, Jackie, but he is having difficulty breathing. They will give him 5 minutes and then assess again. It is a knock to the back and the ribs are very painful. He is having difficulty breathing, but will start.
Well, I said he would. Thank you, Mark. I said he would want to play on. He's doing that, but for how long? If he's having trouble breathing and you're trying to follow people like Thompson and close them down and mark them, that's not the best of news, Marty, is it?
No, it's not, Jackie. Just going back to the equalising goal from Glentoran point of view, I'm sure they're gutted, absolutely gutted. And can this be the spark to light the fire for Linfield now, equalising so late in the half, and they'll be coming out now. The boss will have said to them, right lads, let's go and finish the job off. We haven't played in the first 45. Both teams have levelled each other off, and let's lift it a couple of gears now. And I would be concerned with Colin Nixon, particularly with the predators of Ferguson and Thompson breathing down his neck all the time. You know, it's going to be very difficult for him.
Glentoran supporters, one having a little libation there to wet the throat. But haven't we seen, getting back to the game, all friends, Lockhart saying to the referee, why did you have to book me in a cup final?
I didn't mean to kick him, referee.
But how many times have we seen a team go one up and be hit them easily with an equaliser?
Yeah, it's a concentration thing. You're still enjoying it. It's going through your mind the fact that you've just taken the lead, and that's when you're most vulnerable, just after you have scored.
So Mr. Ross is ready. What lies in store in this second half? It's 1-1 in this nationwide Irish Cup final, and it's live on BBC Sport Northern Ireland. I hope you're enjoying this at home. It's been a good game, tremendous finish to that first half. First of all, we had Michael Halliday, the cup final goal specialist. 43 minutes, 1-0 for Glentoran. But then Peter Thompson, to add to his remarkable season, made it 1-1. Glentoran get it out. Berry helps it on its way. The goal scorer, miscue from him. Here's Mounsey looking for space. Irvin is available and receives. Ferguson, he turned well, but that was very good marking by Sean Ward, the under-21 international.
Yeah, I would imagine Sean's going to maybe sit in there for a few minutes, Jackie, to protect Colin Nixon. That was an excellent bit of covering on young Ward's behalf.
Mr. Jeffrey making his way back the dugout. It's on a knife edge, Marty. It's hard to say who would nick this one in the end. Linfield get it in. Well, Galt arrived, and Galt should have done better, perhaps.
Yeah, Michael, there was no pressure on him whatsoever. What you got to do there in that situation is make sure that you get over the ball and not under it, which Michael just did. That was a great opportunity for them to take the lead. He'll be disappointed with himself, I'm quite sure.
23-year-old playing in his first final, along with McAreevy, as we were saying, the engine room. And Michael still looking for his first Irish Cup goal this season. Oh, Irvin, it's over his head. Here's Halliday. He'll need support. He's got some. They've got the free kick.
Yeah, Jim Irvin's just looking at the referee and saying, what for, ref?
Yeah, he's got to be careful because he's the other man who's been booked today.
That's right.
Another yellow card. He would see red and he would be off.
And obviously that's the last thing the game would need today, Jackie, when the team's going to go down to 10 men. So as you say, yeah, he better be careful, as had Darren Lockhart on the Glentoran team.
Sean Ward it was who felt the challenge. Here's the dead ball specialist, Melock again. Right at the start of this second half, Lockhart is in there. Away by Bailey. Milok will settle for the throw-in. Kearney finds Ferguson, holding off Nixon. Referee says play on. Irvin down the line, the run from the ever-willing Thompson. And Simpson has had to concede the corner. We're talking about Ryan Berry, and that man on your picture there, Peter Thompson. Simpson too, playing in his first cup final at 19. We tend to forget they're young men who might have a few nerves and a bit of tension on a day like this. Busy goalmouth as this ball comes in. Morris, did he get it away? Lockhart half cleared it. Galt. Well, here's Berry. Tackled by Murphy. But sometimes, Marty, I was going to say, and the game's been interesting, more than that, particularly the end of the first half, as we see this again. That may have clipped under the bar there.
Yeah, I just feel that the corner itself was a bit unnecessarily giving it away. Philip just took the easy option and just kicked it for a corner. Should be trying to get his body round and put it out for throw-in.
Gold won that one. Thompson, Nixon. Nixon doesn't really look happy at himself, I have to say.
No, he was really struggling there to lift the leg and clear that ball. I think he'll be out of it very shortly.
I have to tell you, Marty, Colin Nixon's married to my second cousin, so I call him family these days.
Oh, very good, Jackie. You don't want to see him going off then. Keep it in the family, eh?
That's right.
Hopefully have a winner's medal to show off.
More than I got. Right, McShane gets it forward. Thompson. Kearney. Wasn't a good ball though for Moran Kearney. David Jeffrey, 60th game of the season for Linfield. It's Glentoran's 55th. So mentally and physically, it's been a heavy burden for both sides.
Yeah, that's massive football for part-time players. But you know, on a one-off on the cup final, if you can't get the little bit of adrenaline pumping,
yeah.
you know, and get yourself up and motivated for the game, well, perhaps you shouldn't be out there. I just have a feeling Colin won't be out there very much longer. On second thoughts, Ward into centre half in his place, and Holmes wide left.
Just thinking, the boys were looking very smart today in their cup final suits. It's what, 27 years ago since you played. Do you still have your cup final suit?
No, I think I actually pawned it last week, Jackie. That's what I miss about the fans. You know, it's a ticket for a new one, but I haven't had one for a couple of years now.
Well, you had 2 and 2 years at Coleraine.
That's right. Could be doing with another one, Jackie. They're getting a bit worn and bit greasy on it now.
Yeah, but it's a great day for managers and players, isn't it?
Yes, it certainly is. Very memorable, and a lot of pride when you're a manager.
And there's a lot of atmosphere here as well too. And we've already had Halliday and Thompson getting the goals. Who will be the real hero? They are apprentice heroes, but who, if anybody, will get a winner? Glendinning, the swinging foot, the right one, but he got it away well. Flag up against Gary Brown. Bailey takes it quickly. This is McShane. Thompson. He's such a good player making runs, Thompson. For a young player, he shows remarkable maturity. He hasn't bad finishing skills either, as he almost proved again. Irvin. Nixon again, strongly into the challenge. And Nixon was late on that challenge, and Jim Irvin has gone down, and he might be badly hurt.
Yeah, Nicky, as he's known, had a lot of fire in the belly there. Jim doesn't go down too easy. I'd be a bit concerned about this situation. I think Colin can count himself lucky not to receive a talking to. Or
well, that was the wrong challenge we saw there. Yeah, he immediately let it be known that he was hurt. Here it is now. He's just coming in. Yes, he did step on him, I think, in the top of his right foot. When you get the studs, I'm not sure. I don't think the referee has booked Nixon, Marty. Did you see anything there?
No, I think Colin got off lightly there, actually. Maybe can count himself very lucky, actually. But it's nice to see him competing like that. And perhaps his injury is making a better recovery than I thought.
He's not struggling that much, perhaps.
No, indeed.
Miller has a word with the linesman. Wonder what that's all about. It's 1-1, 53 minutes gone. Linfield have a free kick. In it comes, right into the hands of Elliot Morris. Halliday comes deep. Turns away from Pat McShane. He better not dally too long. He has. Ferguson has it. Counter-attack from Linfield. Ferguson, McAreevy falls for Mounsey. He can chip it back post. Took a deflection. It's away for a corner.
Yeah, Linfield are now starting to put the foot on the pedal a bit more, Jackie. They're hungrier. I feel, the goal just before half time would probably have lifted them, deflated Glentoran, and it looks the way now at Linfield. If there's going to be a likely scorer, it's going to come in a blue shirt, I feel, at this moment in time. I'm sure the Glen men will thank me for saying that.
McAreevy, left-footed. Referee not happy about something. He'll have it retaken. He's having a little word, Michael Ross, there again with Lockhart. And Lockie, as he's known in the game, he's already been booked, so be careful. Well, Mr. Jeffrey will be less than happy about that effort.
No, I can see where they're coming from. Paul tried to play a short ball to get it back again. It didn't work out, and yeah, the manager won't be too happy with that for sure.
Well, plenty of smiles there. Some serious faces as well. Not easy for Elliot Morris this half with the Linfield hordes behind him. Berry didn't find a way through. Kearney. Linfield retained possession. Pat McShane. Meloch. Found a way through. Here's Lockhart. Glendinning. Sean Ward ahead of him. Well, the fans are on their feet. I think the referee has given the free kick. Mounsey said, I went for the ball.
Yeah, Mark Glendinning was very lucky there. His first touch was very poor, and he probably played for the free kick, and young Tim Mounsey just fell into the trap there. But the first touch should have been a lot better.
Smile, young man. Glendinning. Lockhart get a head on it. Murphy will get a foot on it. Berry did well with the interception. I think both midfields in a way have evened themselves out today.
Yeah, they certainly have, Jackie. I can't see any of the four midfielders. I can't remember any of them putting the foot on and dictating or doing anything. They basically cancel each other out.
Well, Irvin jumped over that. He thought it was out. He had a right rant at the lines lady. That's what I can call Andy Regan. Now, Manus.
You have to be very careful what you call him now, Jackie, not to be seen to be sexist.
PC, we have to be PC.
Exactly. Andy's done a lot of work at a lot of our games at Coleraine, and then sometimes you do find yourself having a bit of a pop, but she's mixing very well, and she takes it on the chin, and then she just gets on with it.
I hope you're not.
Don't go there, Jackie, please.
swearing in front of that young lady.
Not at all.
The frustration of management. Glentoran having trouble getting forward at the moment, Marty.
Yeah, Linfield have the upper hand at this moment in time, and we're winning the 50-50s. The passing isn't the best, as you have just seen, but I just feel that the commitment and the aggression and the habitual things which they have been doing all season, i.e. winning games, they just seem to be pushing it that little bit that bit further now. They're playing a higher line at the back. Certainly with a bit of a wind in their favour, they can afford to push up that extra few metres, and
yeah,
that's what they're doing.
It might just be me, but I thought the first half that Linfield, they looked a bit pedestrian, a bit lacklustre, and the second half they seemed to be revitalised.
Yes, I would agree with you, Jack. I wouldn't have liked to have been a fly on the wall in the Linfield change room at half time. I can tell you there would have been...
Big David might have been throwing an odd cup or saucer.
The old, what do they say, the old hairdryer might have been out. Certainly not for David, mind you.
Glentoran tried to get it forward. Murphy was climbing all over his man. I think Halliday might have a case for a free kick there. Not sure the referee has given it. But Halliday's the man who raised Glentoran's spirits with the first goal of the game, only to be cancelled out 2 minutes later by Peter Thompson just before the break. Gary Brown just nudging into Murphy there, gives away the free kick. Linfield have taken it. Here's Irvin. Ferguson. Oh, he controlled it so well. Goes right. Mounsey. A lot of streamers on the pitch, as you can see. Does make it easy. Now McAreevy, the left foot. Oh, it took a touch off Simpson on the way over, and McAreevy was denied. He hasn't scored in the cup run. He's got 3 against Glentoran this season, McAreevy. That could have been 4, but for the intervention of young Simpson. McAreevy with the corner. Glendenning in there with the header, taking the pressure in the aerial battles off Colin Nixon, I think.
Yes,
as you said, Marty.
Yeah, I think they're actually covering Colin in there, and they're doing it quite well. But a bit of a link-up play from the Linfield in midfield, which we haven't seen all afternoon. The finish with McAreevy having a pop from some 25 yards.
No way through for Galt. But Glentoran are finding less and less men forward, but they're trying to get forward here with Ward. 1 hour of the contest has gone. It's 1-1 at Windsor Park. Possible break on for Linfield. Irvin. Well, he slowed things up. He's being held up by Berry. The young man has done well, but Irvin gets away. Here's Kearney. The runners on for McShane. He almost did well. Simpson stays down. Good covering by the young 19-year-old.
Yeah, that was excellent covering, Jackie. That's what you want your centre halves to do when the fullback's gone AWOL. You want him to come around and cover those situations, and that's exactly what Philip done, and very well so. I'm just starting to think about Chris Morgan at this moment in time, Jack. You know, no movement on the bench as such from the Glentoran people, but I would be starting to think about Chris Morgan coming into this game. Psychologically, you know, we
wave
will
to
have
the camera, Marty. We're in shot.
We're in shot. Hello there. Psychologically, he could have a big burn on the game. The fact that he scored the winner to clinch the championship last year.
That's away by Nixon. Young Simpson took a boot in the face as he was down there, as he and McShane tangled. But they're okay. Here's Berry. Looking very lively indeed. It is a massive day for a 17-year-old.
Yeah, he's a good kid, Jackie. I've been quite impressed with the boy, actually. He's covered every blade of ground, and he's kept Paul McAreevy quiet. And a lot of people haven't been able to do that all season.
No, they're trying to keep Thompson quiet. Easier said than done. Peter Thompson, still Thompson. Well, he just couldn't get it into the middle where Kearney was free. McShane gets it in. Nixon had to head it that time. McDonough was who helped it on. Well, Galt has gone down, and that was slightly late there by McDonough. And McAreevy had a little pull round the throat.
Yeah, the heads went down there, Jack. I'm not sure whether it was a full contact made or not. I really can't say, but obviously, is it Michael Galt that's on the floor at the moment? He's not the type of lad to go down too easy.
He's not. I think you'll see here that Galt took a knock.
Well, yes, I hold my hands up. Yes, he certainly did, and that was definitely a free kick for Linfield.
It's a sore one as well. McDonough that's nice to see, having a word with the young boy. McDonough's only 23 himself.
Yeah, Willow came up from Shamrock Rovers, obviously with a big reputation, and I think he's maybe taken a little bit longer to settle into the Irish League type of game than perhaps he expected, because League of Ireland you're allowed a bit more time on the ball, whereas on the Irish League they're in around you very quickly.
I think they were out of season down there, so it was his match fitness which cost him.
As well, certainly that wouldn't have helped.
The first few weeks. Well won by Simpson it was. He does well, Marty, I must say. I've been impressed by young Simpson.
He's an out-and-out defender, as you said. He'll put the head in. He picked up a facial injury just under the commentary box here, and that's what you want your centre half to do. You want them to be big and strong. You want them to be brave, and you don't want too many pretty boys wearing the number 5 shirt. I was lucky. I was one of the ones that survived, by the way.
Linfield free kick. Flick, it's in. It's Thompson again. What a day for this young man. 8th cup goal this season, 48th overall this season. They're lighting flares for Thompson and for Linfield. Is the clean sweep of 4 trophies on the way?
Once again, Peter Thompson on the end. It makes it look so simple, he's just in the right place. He has the knack of being in the right place at the right time. That was basically a goal from nothing. An average ball knocked into the box when he got on the end of it, and bang, 2-1. Was there a little help along the way? I'm not quite sure.
Whatever, it's in there. Yes, it's his touch. Elliot Morris had no chance. He hasn't scored in every round, but he scored 2 in the final. He's pleased. That's an understatement. Elliot Morris, no chance. 2-1, Linfield. They are very, very happy. It's 44 years since the clean sweep. The great Linfield team of 61-62. 7 trophies. It was actually 6 trophies, and 1 had been carried over from the previous year, the North-South Cup, and they beat Glentoran in that over 2 games. So they still talk about the 7 trophy team at Windsor Park. Those players are still revered. I think these ones, the current day players, are writing themselves into the history books as well, as Glentoran have another player down. It's all going against the men from the east.
Yeah, young Mulgrew just picked up a knock there, Jackie, and the lads worked his socks off, and maybe it's time to take him out of it and perhaps bring Sean Holmes and maybe try and create a little bit more, because at this moment in time it's all Linfield. Glentoran look quite devoid of ideas, and they're not getting behind the Linfield back four at all. It's Linfield all the way here.
Studs in the back for young Berry, helped off by the Glentoran doctor. Jody Tolan on the far side, the man who got Colerane's winner, Marty will remember that, against Glentoran in 2003. Sean Holmes, the other substitute, doing a little bit of stretching. It'd be quite something if Tolan got an outing in this final.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Jody there. He's talking, and believe you me, technically he's one of the most gifted players in the league, and he knows the game inside out. Great pleasure working with Jody for many years at Cliftonville, and then at Coleraine. Wish him all the best at Glentoran.
So halfway through the second half, a quarter of the game remains. Linfield are in front. McAreevy! Wrong side of the post.
Ferguson did really well there. He held the player off, and then just a little back flick onto, I think it was Warren Kearney who finished it. Obviously got a deflection off one of the Glentoran players.
All the way across, Ferguson, deflection, Murphy's header, wide of the mark. Elliot Morris having a right go at his defenders. By the way, the last man to score 2 in a final was last year. Vinnie Arkins got a couple when the Ports hammered Larne by 5 goals to 1. Last player to score 2 in a Big 2 final. Morgan is coming on. Looks like Brown, is it? Coming off. Last minute instructions from the boss. Well, that man there talking about 2 in a final. He got 2 for Linfield. 2002 when they beat Portadown 2-1. Can he turn things round? Glentoran needs something as time eases away. I was going to say the last 2 in a Big 2 final was Johnny Jameson of Glentoran. The replay of 83, 2-1 at the Oval. Well, keep calm, Peter.
Yeah, Chris Morgan's just come on. Maybe I just feel it's too late for Chris now. He's not going to. Glentoran aren't going to come back today. It's Linfield's Cup.
That statement might come back to haunt you, Marty.
No, Jackie, it certainly won't. I'm quite confident Linfield are going to lift the cup.
So there we are. Thompson's got 2 today. The man has just come on. Was the last Linfield player to get 2 in a final. Ball goes in. Mealock, it wasn't a great header. Ferguson, well, he pulled the trigger, but he missed the target by the proverbial mile.
Very, very poor defensive header. You know, you got to get the ball out of that area and not just head it up in the air. Unfortunately for Spike, it fell probably to the weaker of his 2 feet. Very gifted feet they are.
Yeah, I think Glentoran are a bit in disarray at the back at the moment because of the restrictions, obviously, because of that neck injury to Colin Nixon. Sometimes you've got Glendinning in there, sometimes it's Mealock. Right now, this is Galt being held up by Berry.
I think the thing is now, Jackie, you're now starting to see the Linfield midfield playing, you know, particularly the 2 central players, Michael Galt and Paul McAreevy has had more ball in the last 10 minutes than he had for the earlier stages of the game. Warren Kearney's now starting to get a seeing more of Tim Mounsey, because up until this stage they've been very quiet, but now they're starting to get the upper hand on the Glentoran midfield. And there is a strong wind there also in Linfield's favour, obviously, judging from that goal kick.
Yeah, I would have to agree with your optimism about Linfield, Marty. Glentoran are certainly not out of it at 2-1, but Linfield have been, as we said earlier, revitalised in this second half. They've taken it up a gear, or even 2 gears from their first half performance, and it's Glentoran who are left looking slightly sluggish.
But they're being a bit silly making that statement, Jack. When I've just been thinking about the Irish Cup, the League Championship, when it was won by Glentoran last year in the dying minutes of the game. So
that's right.
Just bear with me on that one. But
we're both tempting fate, perhaps.
I think so. Yeah.
And it is a cup final. Here's Galt.
There, now we're starting to see.
He was very brave in there.
Yeah.
A few tackles starting to go in.
Yeah, for sure now. Now we're starting to see Michael Galt doing what he's good at. We're seeing McAreevy doing what he's good at on the ball, passing it. Galt doing all the work, putting the foot in, digging deep, and then winning the ball for. You know, he's a gifted player himself, but not the most gifted of players. He can win it, and he's a big player for Linfield.
Yeah, you'd almost think somebody had handed them confidence on a plate at half time.
Yeah,
change team.
The late goal in the half.
In by Irvine. Ferguson got a touch. Lockhart. Flag is up on the far side. She hasn't done too much wrong. She'd be relieved about that. Thumbs up.
Yes, it's a great honour for the girl. She's thoroughly deserved it. I've seen her, as I say, officiating so many times at Coleraine and always done a very good job.
You wonder, Marty, and you hear the stick they take, referees, and I still call them linesmen. Bad enough for the men, but what makes a young female want to become a football official as that ball goes into the hands of Malice?
Yeah, just a love for the game now. There's so many young girls playing football, Jackie. The national team here are doing quite well, and there are girls' leagues all over the country now, and maybe Andy just wasn't as good a player as some of the referees we have nowadays. That's why they're doing it.
Here's Gold. Yeah, it's one of the reasons we're still involved, Marty, because you're around football people, the characters, the camaraderie, the friendships, the banter.
The banter's a great thing in the football, Jackie, isn't it?
And the memories, the goals
exactly
that you scored from 10 yards, all of a sudden it's 20 yards you scored it from, or 30 yards.
I was deadly in the 6-yard box on the own goals, unfortunately, Jackie, off the back of the head or off the side of the foot. Substitution.
Tim McCann, former Glentoran man. He's on for Linfield. The Linfield fans still look a bit pensive there, that last shot I saw.
Yeah, that's a natural replacement. Tim McCann, naturally left-sided player coming in, and actually Glentoran. So he'll be very determined. Tim's been ever so lucky. He took himself from Glentoran to Sligo, won a first division medal down there, and now he's come back and signed for Linfield. There's not many players get those opportunities.
I think he had some 5 years at Leicester City as well. I always thought he was a very capable player who was restricted at Glentoran a lot in the appearances he made.
Yes, that's right. I just feel he didn't get as much first-team football as perhaps his ability was worth.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So, Peter Thompson, 2 goals.
Oh dear.
Something from the grandstand has been thrown. You always worry about this. We're live on television. It's a Big 2 final. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of rivalry, but we don't want to see this.
No, that's the last thing we want today, Jack. That's just one mindless thug who has taken it upon himself.
Let's see if we see it arriving, Marty. Well, there we didn't get it in close up.
No, I didn't see. Obviously, there was something.
Well, we're trying to work out what was thrown. Still hard to see. It's maybe a coin.
No, yeah.
And that's sore enough.
Yeah.
If it hits you in the right place. Bailey immediately going to his aid.
Thank goodness he's up and running again anyway.
We're back with the play, and let's hope that's an isolated incident. McShane. Tim McCann gets it in. Glentoran get it away. Just over 14 minutes left of the 90. Last time we had extra time was the Big 2 final 5 years ago. Michael Halliday got that goal. Glentoran 1, Linfield 0, the 99th minute. Jody Tolan is coming on for young Berry. It's the recovery of the season. 8 months. He was badly injured up at Institute way back last August. Surgery for a knee injury. And he's back, and as a former manager of Jody Tolan's, Marty Quinn is smiling from ear to ear.
Yeah, I'm not one bit surprised.
Me too, I'm glad to see him back.
Yes, I'm absolutely delighted, but I'm not one bit surprised. He had a hernia operation. He was told to rest up for some 2-3 months. He was back playing for me within 5 weeks. The boy loves his football, and a very quick healer.
Milok gets it in. Glentoran trying to hit back. Ferguson, he seemed to be pulled. The referee agrees. Yeah, Marty, just to remind you, with 13 minutes left, Linfield leading 2-1. Think about a man of the match. It's an easy job, Marty, I'll give it to
Well,
you.
there are a few candidates out there at the moment, Jackie. I'll just keep them to myself.
One of them has taken a free kick. That's Bailey. I think Peter Thompson might come into thoughts. But
yes, I think you may be right, Jackie. And perhaps someone else can come into the frame.
Tim
also.
McCann, yeah. The game is not over yet. Let's remember that. Everything at this moment points to Linfield, but who knows? They did snatch that league game last season, as you rightly reminded me, Marty. 3-2 at the Oval. Sadly, dreadful scenes after that game. Let's hope we don't have a repeat of that today, but so far so good. Now here's Ferguson. McAreevy takes it on. Ferguson will hit it. He hit it straight in to a Glentoran man. I think it was it McDonough? It was was McDonough. Linfield have it. McAreevy. Thompson. Tim McCann. Left foot, it's a good ball. Ferguson. Thompson. Tremendous block by Simpson.
Great block from Simpson. What a great ball. Ferguson headed down to Thompson.
He's done well, the boy, today, hasn't he?
Yeah, very well, very well. And certainly would be in contention for a man of the match. He's been excellent in there.
Tremendous block.
Good block tackle, certainly, yeah, and a great strike from Peter Thompson. But you know, it's all about the old boy. The ball he laid off to him, you know, took the pace out of it with his head.
Yeah, wily old fox, Mr. Ferguson. And as Thompson looks for a hat-trick, let me remind you, the last hat-trick was 1969. Billy McAvoy got 4 goals. It was in a replay. Ards beat Distillery 4-2 here at Windsor Park. Billy McAvoy, ace marksman of that time, and #1 guy as well, I have to say. And it's that sort of day where Billy McAvoy will still be dining out in his 4 goals in an Irish Cup final. You never forget something like that.
No, not the Billy McAvoys of this world. He's right up there with the other.
He was a player, wasn't he?
Oh, excellent. He's right up there with the best. I can always remember him and the likes of Martin McGackie, Desi Dixon. I can always remember
Deadly Des
running past me, you know.
Great. You must have been burning a bit of oil trying to keep up with those guys.
Burning a bit of oil, exactly. You better believe in it.
Here's Alan Mannis to get it forward. The volume is going up at the Linfield end. They think the end is in sight. And the end, as another Glentoran player goes down. Elbow, says the fan. Well, we'll try and see the replay. Ferguson.
Yeah, we'll see what happened there, yeah.
I didn't think.
I think perhaps there was a little elbow, but nothing to.
Didn't look too severe.
Yeah, Sean Stenson, you know, you drew elbow up. But that wouldn't be Glenn's fault, you know. But yes, he did. He lifted his elbow to the boy, and I don't think the referee actually seen it.
Last 10 minutes for Mr. Miller and his team. What does it hold? Andy Matheson there to his left, his assistant. Another former Glentoran midfielder. Is he going to end up with all the trophies? He's not too far away from it.
No, I don't think he is, Jackie.
Well, that was a shot of Jeffrey we were looking at.
Yeah, he's not too far off it, as you were saying about winning the clean sweep. Yes, as you say, it was 1961 the last time it was.
61-2.
61-2, yeah.
There's something else thrown on there as Irvin took that throw.
That was actually a 7 trophy winning team.
7 trophy team, yeah.
6
in one season. Well, they got 7 in the one season. There are only 6 trophies in offer, but 1 had been carried over, and that's why it's the 7 trophy team. They still talk about them. Tommy Dixon, Hubert Barr. Some great players. Ray Goff, I remember as well. Stylish wing half.
Bobby Irvine in goal.
Bobby Irvine.
Graham. Hubert Barr.
Hubert Barr, I mentioned, yeah. David
Tommy Stewart.
Tommy Stewart, yeah. Billy Ferguson, maybe.
The late Billy Ferguson.
Ferguson.
We're giving our age away, Jackie.
I was actually at that match, at that cup final, would you believe? At the Oval, I think Linfield beat Distillery 2-0 that day to lift the 7.
Is that right? You must have been only a boy, Marty.
Yeah, I think we're still in the nappy, Jackie.
Breeze is still quite strong. Ferguson. Nixon, well, looks as though he's going to see it through. Hands off Ferguson. Lockhart against Bailey. Irvin did well, and Mounsey just helps it forward. Elliot Morris, well, the angle was against him, but his players won't thank him for just playing it, side-footing it straight across. Could have gained a bit of ground, perhaps.
I think he made the right decision, Jack. As you say, it was falling to his left peg, which wasn't good for him, and the wind blowing as it is.
Better save.
Easy, yeah, for sure.
I was going to say earlier, by the way, the last extra time we had was 5 years ago. That's Michael Halliday, 1-0, Glentoran, 99 minutes. McAreevy, he's kept it in, but he couldn't get the telling cross over. Morris finds Lockhart, immediately closed down. That's been the difference, Marty, in this second half.
Yeah, very much so. They haven't had any time whatsoever on the ball. But there's Peter Thompson backtracking in the midfield as well, putting the foot in. You know, that emphasises Linfield at the moment.
McShane.
And saying that, you know, Glentoran have upped it a bit in the last sort of 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes.
Tim McCann. Less than 6 minutes on the watch, plus whatever's added, of course. Referee plays on. Nixon gets it away. Well, Morgan was backing in and backing in. Murphy just bided his time, made the clearance. Here's Milok. Well, that was very slack. Ferguson looks round for support. Mounsey available. Linfield taking the tempo down a little bit. They're coasting at the moment. They're leading 2-1. Maybe too early to run the clock down, but who knows. McCann. Ferguson. Thompson. McCann. Well, he favours the left foot, but it let him down on that occasion.
Yeah, that was nice, a nice build-up from Linfield. You know, they're going to start maybe looks and signs a little bit of showboating there. You know, they've got to keep the emphasis here and keep the push, keep pushing and keep working hard. Paul McAreevy's coming off. They're going to put young Andrew Hunter into a midfield role, I think, or are they going to go three at the back? No, I think it's just Jim Irvine coming into a right side midfield role.
Yeah, Jim will play like a right winger almost.
Yeah. Tim Mounsey's come into the centre along with Michael Galt now.
Ball played through. Milok will tidy up. Wasn't much else he could do. He could have given it to his keeper, of course. A bit of a touch of rain in the air, as you saw with Glenn Little's shirt at half-time. Nice to see Glenn Little again, one of the men 10 years ago, that goal, one of the best in recent years in the cup final. Here's McShane. Away by Nixon. Mounsey got his head. Thompson. McShane, that's a late challenge from Morgan. I'm not sure there was anything intentional in it. He apologises. But whenever you're caught with about 6 studs in the top of the foot, Marty, it's sore.
Well, it wouldn't be Chris's form to do that, you know, and he's an honest lad, as is Pat McShane, who's had a fantastic season for Linfield. You know, a year or two, I think the question marks were beside Pat, but obviously this season he's been absolutely outstanding, and had a well-deserved testimonial with Linfield.
Yeah, he's been some 11 years here. So, Marty, tell you what, I'll give you about a minute and a half to tell us your man of the match.
Okay, Jack.
Ferguson. Mounsey. Glendinning. Time is running out for the Glens. Just over 2 minutes left of this Nationwide Irish Cup final. Being brought to you live on BBC Northern Ireland Sport. So Marty, put us out of our suspense.
Well, Jackie, you know, you look at the rock which this victory was built, and that was the back four. Obviously, the two central defenders in Noel Bailey and William Murphy haven't put a foot wrong. Up front, that's what's coming from. Obviously, Glenn Ferguson, fantastic. But the boy, his apprentice, as I would call him, he's coming on and is a master tradesman himself. My man of the match would be Peter Thompson.
Yeah, no real surprise. Marty, thank you very much indeed. So there he is, the man of the match. Another great memory of this season for Peter Thompson. His 2 goals look as though they have won the Nationwide Irish Cup, but also helped Linfield complete a clean sweep of those 4 trophies. But are we talking too soon? 1 minute, 15 seconds left. The countdown is on, but Glentoran come forward. Is there to be drama at the end of this half, as we had at the end of the first half? You never can tell. Linfield get it away. Ferguson just helps it on. Well, a lot of whistles around the ground. They're a wee bit early, premature. Have to keep an eye on the 4th official, see how much will be added on. Now here's Ferguson. Now he's holding it up. He's walking. He surprised them all by crossing it. They could have been caught out. The ball just wasn't good enough. Linfield are on their way to win the trophy for the 37th time. Their first win over Glentoran in a Big Two final since 1945. David's 18th trophy, David Jeffrey, 18th trophy as boss. He's been in charge for 9 years. 3 minutes will be added on, so keep an eye on the clock. 93 minutes we're playing to. Glentoran, sorry Marty.
Sorry.
Glentoran, who've had such a great run under Paul Miller. What a great baptism for him as Glentoran manager to take them to the final. But is it all going to end in disappointment? The referee not impressed. More protests or cries for a penalty from the fans than the players. Mounsey has made the run. He'll just run it down as the clock runs down. We're into almost completed the first minute of the 3 that have been added on.
Yeah, that's a good bit of work by Tim. That's exactly what he wanted, either to get his free kick or get his throw-in. I think it's probably a throw-in, but that's just killing off a few valuable seconds.
Little touch of cramp there perhaps for Tim Mounsey. It's been a big effort. The buzz is going round the Kop stand, and I'm sure the grandstand beneath us. Goal kick has been given. It will be 8 cup wins against 7 for the Glens in the shootout finals between the big two. 7-7 before today. The Blues look like edging in front, and they will be unbeaten in 7 games against Glentoran this season. Will they remember the 2005-06 season? I think so. Ferguson again surprises them all, almost. Elliot Morris as well, drifts just wide. Just about a minute left of the time added on.
I'm just looking at Glenn, maybe he can become a left winger eventually, eh? The way he just nonchalantly pulled the left peg and got a good delivery in the box.
Yeah, he must feel this season as though he can do anything. He hasn't scored today, which means he will not have scored in every round, but he'll not be worried, because the young man Thompson has taken his Irish Cup haul this season to 8 with his 2 today. he'll remember that for as long as he lives. It's one of those moments in your life, and the Linfield fans will be reminding him in 30 years' time, 40 years' time, do you remember the day you got the 2 goals to beat Glentoran? And he will, and he'll remember it with great pride, as David Jeffrey should remember this season, and all of his players and all of his staff. It's been a great effort. They've only lost 2 games domestically, if you include the Setanta Cup, but it's not over yet, this game perhaps. Andrew Hunter, it's all over. Linfield are the Irish Cup winners. There's the hero with his 2 goals, Marty Quinn's man of the match. They've also secured the clean sweep. They have made their own history. 853rd game for Noel Bailey. Great success. I'm sure there might be a few tears for David Jeffrey. He's straight away on with my radio colleague Bobby Carlisle, and they just love it, don't they? Disappointment, of course, for Glentoran and their fans. Let's remember that. But cup finals, you win some, you lose some. The feeling is great when you're on top. It's awful when you don't win. We can hear, sorry Marty, thank you very much for your help today. We can hear from Peter Thompson, man of the match.
Jackie, he's just been jumped all over at the moment. Peter, don't go away, let me hold your hand and let me present you with this nationwide man of the match, and now tell me just what that meant.
It's an unbelievable feeling, so it is. To get the goals personally, it's a great feeling, but the most important thing was we went on and won the match, and the boys in the second half really stepped it up, and I think we're more than deserved winners, and to go on and win the clean sweep, it feels very good, so it does.
Noel Bailey, the skipper, just coming in. Noel, you have a big arm around him. What about this boy?
Phenomenal. Did he make 50? I don't know, did you? Unbelievable season, like 48 goals.
That's 48 goals in 58 games, Peter. That ain't half bad.
It's going well for me personally and the side, to win all 4 trophies. That's what we set out to begin the season to do, and to finally achieve it, it speaks volumes for the players and the management here that we've gone on and done it, and I'm so happy, it's unbelievable.
I'll be Mr. Spike Ferguson. Spike, you left it to the little man today.
Said it yesterday, didn't care who scored the winner. Top man's come up with a top result again. He's got the 2 goals to win our cup final for us. Unbelievable. You just said that.
Yes, sir.
Noel, I think 852 games for the club, 17 years. This year it must surpass them all.
Yeah, you can't. This is the best. Last year St Anta's one-off was unbelievable, but to win 4 out of the 4 domestic trophies is, I don't know when the next time it'll be achieved.
You'll be back next year?
Well, you have to ask Linfield to give me a contract to play off for me, and I'll be here, yeah.
That sounds like a yes to me. Here comes David Jeffrey. We can have a word with the big man. David, first of all, let me shake your hand. 9 years in the job, I take it this year has eclipsed them all.
There's no doubt about that. They say we set out to do our very best at the beginning of the season, and we wanted to kick on from the Setanta. We progressed in Europe, was pleased about that. Won the CIS, I was pleased about that. County Antrim Shield, pleased about that. We won the league 6 weeks before the end, and then people keep talking about, had we run out of steam? No way, we were brilliant today.
How are you going to hold on to Peter Thompson after that performance?
Peter's full time with us, but should any club come in and make an offer that obviously is reasonable, we wouldn't stop it. We wouldn't stand in Peter's way. Absolutely no chance.
You expect he will be here this time next year?
I only deal in certainties, Mark, and unless someone comes in and makes an offer for him, of course he'll be here.
Unfair of me to be asking these questions to you, but I'll ask you one final one. Glenn Ferguson, he must be worth another 1-season contract.
Are you his agent?
No, I'm not.
What do you think?
Looks good to me at 36.
I would agree with you then.
Sum it all up then. You look at these fans here, there's maybe 5, 6, 7,000 of them waiting behind, and it's all about Big Davy Jeffrey.
No, it's about the team, and it's about the club, and about the supporters. You're only as good as the people around you, and they have done fantastically well this year, all of them. I'm very, very proud, Mark, and fantastic day, and we've recreated history.
Yeah, the team of 61, 62, at last that feat has been rivalled.
Yep, we have made history. Very proud, very proud.
One final safe pair of hands. Let's bring in Alan Manus. Alan, big day all round.
Yeah, massive day. Great occasion, and I'm very, very happy that we won it, obviously. I think we deserved it. In the first half, we're under a wee bit of pressure, mainly because of the wind, and because we didn't do as well as we could have.
In the second half, we had to win this well, but we played as well as we've played as well as we have done as well as we have done all season, and overall we're a much better team compared to anybody in the league. So we just showed that today in the second half. So we're very, very happy with the result.
Can you sum up what it has been that has been the difference about Linfield this season? Because there were a few detractors coming into the final who say that maybe he's had burned out ever so slightly.
I think it's a number of things that have made us do so well this year. Winning the Setanta, obviously everybody says it started from there, and it probably did, but we started doing it 3 nights a week. Anybody can do 3 nights a week, but it's what you do on the nights that count. And we've got the best coaches and back staff as well, and not only that, but the best players. And we've got the best players who believe in themselves as well, and I think that's the reason why everybody works hard. And if one person isn't doing well, then everybody else works around them and helps them out, and that's what we've done all year.
I think Laurie Sanchez was looking at you today. You looking on that flight to the USA?
I'd love to go. I've been asked about it by newspaper reporters and everything, but I said I couldn't comment on it because I might not get asked even if the other keepers can't go, but obviously I'd love to go.
Here's hoping you go off and enjoy that. I think the last one we have is Tim McCann, formerly of Glentoran. You've been doing it with Sligo, now you've done it with Linfield. Describe the day, describe the moment.
I'm very proud just to be part of it, to be honest. I was lucky to be in the 14, but obviously being an excellent touring player and coming to the Blues is obviously going to be a wee bit of controversy, but delighted to come out a winner. It's a fantastic achievement this season.
As I say, you've been with a few clubs now. How does this Linfield club, I suppose, or side compare?
It's the best team I've played in, for sure. Look how successful they've been all season. I only joined them in January. By that stage, most things wrapped up, so I came late in the season, but thoroughly enjoying my time here. It's a fantastic club.
Okay, off you go, Tim. I think we're going to have one last word, Stephen. We will do, but Paul Miller has graciously come over to us. Paul, always difficult place to be on the losing side in a cup final, and presumably just that minute before half-time you were in pole position and thinking to yourself, upset is on.
Yeah, we first half I thought we dominated. We gave a poor goal away from a set piece, and Linfield are very good at it, and then we knock the ball long in the box and the pile bodies in there, and I thought the referee was conned for the free kick. I haven't seen it on TV, but I thought he was conned, and it was another set piece, a poor goal for us to give away. But fair play to them, they've done well, they've had a great season, and it'll be up to us to sort them out next season.
You have come up against what has been an exceptional side.
We've come up against a good Linfield side, and as I say, we played well today, we battled away, still a wee bit short, and but that's the way it goes.
Overall, how will you reflect on your few months in the managerial seat?
I've enjoyed every minute of it, and it's for days like this, that you come to clubs like Glentoran, but I'm very, very disappointed today. But over the period of time, I have to admit, I've been pleased with the boys and their performance and the support.
We appreciate your time, Paul. Stephen, I think that's pretty much about everyone we've heard from. Up to you lot.
Well, it's Linfield's day. It's Linfield's season. They've won the Queen's clean sweep. They'll go into the record books. Billy Hamilton, Michael O'Neill and Roy Coyle are still with me. I think first of all we have to comment on David Jeffrey dancing the rock DJ there by Robbie Williams.
Well, David's had a tremendous season, and I think his emotions have got the better of him, and he's really enjoying himself, and why not?
Michael, Linfield deserved winners this afternoon?
Yeah, I think so. Once they got themselves ahead, Glentoran had great work rate and ethic in the second half, but you can never translate it into chances. And I think that once Linfield got themselves 2-1 in front, there was only one winner.
You said at half-time, Roy, the Linfield goal was going to be absolutely crucial, and they came out with their tails up.
Yeah, they did. For 20 minutes, they just bombarded the Glentoran goal. I think the difference between the two teams today was just that Linfield used the elements better than Glentoran. In fairness to Glentoran, they made them work their socks off Linfield to win that game today. They weren't coming here just to make up the numbers.
And a word, Roy, about Colin Nixon, the Glentoran captain, who really played through the pain barrier there second half and gave us all.
Well, Nicky's a cult figure at the Oval, there's no question about that there. I just think that maybe the heart was ruling ahead today, because in the second half that wasn't Colin Nixon, we all know.
Michael, Peter Thompson, what can you say about this young fella?
I thought he was the outstanding player on view today. His movement was good, he held the ball well up front. I'm not sure if he's going to be credited with a second goal or not. It doesn't look as if it was his, but I would be very surprised if he's a Linfield player next season. I think they'll get a bid that I don't think they'll be able to refuse.
Yeah, we heard David Jeffrey talking there. He said that he would certainly look at any reasonable bids for Peter Thompson during the close season.
Well, Peter Thompson, to me, he has it all. You know, he has the vision, he has the ability, he makes intelligent runs, and he brings other people into play. With the full-time training, he'll do better.
Well, there's Dan Core from Nationwide with Noel Bailey, the Linfield captain, and he raises aloft the Nationwide Irish Cup. A proud day for him and a proud day for Linfield Football Club. Noel Bailey's contribution, Roy, cannot be underestimated to this team.
He's a legend, there's no question about that. The lad's contribution since he's come to Linfield. I remember he came as a young boy as an outside left, and we transferred him into a sweeper, which he has done a remarkable job for Linfield.
The two veterans, dare I call them that, of the Linfield team, Glenn Ferguson and Noel Bailey, certainly both deserve contracts for next season.
And Noel in particular has been a great credit to the Irish League as well. You know, he just seems to go on and on. I don't know how many games he's played now for Linfield, but he's won every trophy there is to be going. He still has that appetite. And Glenn, he's in the same mould. It's great if you're a manager and you get two players like that. It's a good starting point.
And I know our commentary team of Jackie Fullerton and Marty Quinn are enjoying these Linfield celebrations with us this afternoon.
Yes, we are indeed. William Murphy there, winning it for the first time. It's his second final. He lost to Glentoran, Big Winky as they call him, 5 years ago, but he's got it this time. Pictures for posterity. And you think that the ages of Bailey and Ferguson, Stephen, you were talking about them, total age 71. Total goals this season, 90. It is quite incredible, but the whole team have played their part. Oran Kearney, what a first season for him, the big number 10. 4 trophies, 4 winners' medals, and now the lap of honour. They don't look happy at all, do they? But they should be. Peter Thompson, as I said, will remember this day. Noel Bailey, 35-year-old. Of course he deserves a contract. I'm sure he'll get one. I've enjoyed the day. My thanks again to Marty Quinn, the Coleraine manager. It's back to you, Stephen.
Yes, thanks very much. Well, let's take a look at those couple of Linfield goals this afternoon. Peter Thompson certainly claiming them both. The first one was definitely his, Billy.
First one was definitely his. You know, well, that one looks as though it came off the defender's back to me. You know, you have a better look at it here. They both go up. It's hard to tell from that angle, but the angle from behind it, this one's definitely his. You know, the ball's knocked in. It's put into the box. I think McAreevy holds off a defender, lays it back for Thompson, and he finishes it like a true striker. Goalkeeper had no chance there.
I think whatever happens, it'll be hard for people to take that second goal off Peter Thompson.
And it'll be definitely a lot of things. You know, he's in and around obviously when the ball comes in the box, but from the, as Billy says, the view from behind the goal, I think it hits the young lad Simpson on the back of his right shoulder, and that's what deflects it into the goal.
Briefly, just as we watch the cup being paraded, Roy, can you sum up how good a season it's been for Linfield?
Well, I don't think you can put it into words. It's been phenomenal. The only thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to wait for about 2 months so as David Jeffrey will calm down.
Okay, thank you very much to my guests. It's been Linfield's day. They're the undisputed champions of the Irish League. Bye-bye for now.